Hey, what's up, folks? Welcome in. This is JE Live, and it's a Q&A. We're late night, way later than normal. 11:16 on the East Coast. Hopefully that resonates well with the West Coast here, because it's like, what, 8:16, 8:17 now? Yeah. Hope everyone's doing well. Excited to talk with you guys. It's been a minute, you know. So we're here. We are live, and yeah, that's pretty much what's happening. No, it's been a while. Not that long, but it's been a little bit. If you guys haven't followed the call-in app, then you probably haven't heard me in at least a week. I put out some clips. I saw some people that didn't like that, but I was asked to put out some clips of the longer streams that people don't get a chance to see. So that's what I did. But hope everyone's doing well. Excited to talk with you guys, answer some questions, and all that good stuff. I'm just getting this thing set up here. Let's see here. Cool. All right. What's up, sheep? How we doing? Roy the Wolf, how we doing? Yo, Jake, how the food delivery service going? You live in a busy city. That's where the money is at. Yeah, so it's going well. I don't live in a city. Well, I don't live in the city, so to speak. I live in the suburbs, and I've kind of been delivering all sorts of places, but it's gone well in the capital district of New York. So no, it's something I definitely needed to do. Clears my head. Obviously, being able to drive around like that, but also making some quick money. It's good. It's definitely good. What's up, Young and Isaac? How we doing? Yes, Rusty, I'm glad to be back. And I don't know how many people we're gonna get tonight, to be honest with you. And I'll probably go on one of those Jake tangents, and you'll probably get micro content from it. But either way, we're gonna have some fun for a little bit. Probably at least 45 minutes to an hour stream, I'm thinking. So hopefully, you guys don't have anything going on. And if you do, you have to leave, you have to leave. I'll be back, So yeah, there's not a lot going on right now if you really think about it. Talking about the Rams, there's just not a lot. I understand they're back and they're practicing, they're at OTAs and all that, mini camp, whatever you want to call it, but there's just not a lot of news, and Odell Beckham Jr., that stuff. We just don't know how that's gonna go. So there's just not a lot to report right now. So it's more so just kind of, we're chilling, we're making content, we're having fun, that type deal. But again, there's just not a lot going on. Rusty, who do you got winning the NBA Finals? God, isn't this the question of the day? I kind of have a vibe it's going to be the Heat. I just have this vibe where it's going to be the Heat getting revenge on the Mavericks. Because if you remember when LeBron had his first title, his first title appearance against the Mavericks when he was with the Heat, they lost that. I think that it's going to be the Heat over the Mavericks. I think it's going to be a rematch, and I think the Heat are going to win. I could see Golden State winning. Honestly, Golden State is dangerous, but I think Dallas is going to surprise people. I really do. I think Memphis might have, as good as Golden State is. If Memphis had Ja, that might have been a different series. So, what's up, Dingus? Hopefully you got some killer questions as always. Always, making me proud with those questions, man. Pretty easy to do some micro content and cut up different clips when they're coming from your questions normally. Because, rule of thumb is if I go over 5 minutes on a topic, I'm probably going to put out some micro content. Like, I'm going to clip that and turn it into a video. I just find those are the best ones. You think Miami as well? I wouldn't rule them out. I'll tell you that right now. Rookie numbers, they look pretty much like I expected. A little different. I had 25 going to Yeast. I got that one wrong. He took 43. And then I had Well, I thought Arcuri would have just taken 79, but I guess that was already taken, so he took 61. That was the only one that I really got wrong. The two that I really got wrong. Everyone else I got right. All college numbers, so it wasn't that hard. But I love these NBA playoffs. Luka getting the last laugh, and Jimmy Butler exposing the 76ers and motivational speaker choke Rivers. Yeah. I said motivational speaker one day on Twitter, and I'm not saying I'm the first to say it, but it is funny how like it's stuck with people. Like when they're talking to me about Doc Rivers, they're like, "Yeah, the motivational speaker's at it again." It just, I don't know, it's hilarious to me. And I don't have anything against him personally, but like, I don't know, I just feel like you had all that talent and you haven't really done a ton with it. So, you know. How many games are the Lions going to win this season? That is an interesting question. Kind of like this DG Sport Patrol 6 to 10 wins, because I don't feel like you're wrong regardless. I would probably go 5 to 9 wins. That's what I'll do. I'll say 5 to 9 wins. Somewhere in that territory is going to be the total for the Lions. Oh, good question. So I don't think Patrick Beverley is that great at basketball. Okay. He's a really good defender. He's, a smash mouth in your face player, but at the end of the day, he cherry picks down the court. No one really respects him among his peers. Dude's always talking, and he's just disrespectful. Like, I genuinely don't, like, there's not many players that I just dislike in the NBA. I mean, like, Ben Simmons, because I just think he's a quitter, and he's soft, and he's a bad example in the younger generation looking up to these players. Kyrie Irving at times kind of annoys me. Kevin Durant has annoyed me in the past, but man, Patrick Beverley is the most annoying basketball player. He might be the most annoying athlete in sports right now for me, because the dude talks so much, and it's like essentially if what's his face? I'm trying to have a good, like, for people that watch the NFL, I'm trying to find a good analogy of what Patrick Beverley is. I mean, he's really, I don't know. He's like Laquan Treadwell of the NFL, where like Treadwell is like a solid player. Like he's kind of revitalized his career, in a sense, with the Jags, but I like, I think that's a good one. Laquan Treadwell, we'll say that. Like, okay, he's good, right? Like he's in the NFL. Okay, Patrick Beverley's in the NBA, and this is not a knock on him, because Laquan Treadwell isn't running his mouth. But it's like that tier of player where, okay, but he's a starter, essentially, like for the Jaguars, key role player, yada yada. But like, why would Laquan Treadwell be coming out and saying that Odell Beckham Jr. or Tyreek Hill or Cooper Kupp or Devontae Adams or like one of the star wide receivers, like he wouldn't be coming out and saying that they're trash. So I guess for me, that's kind of how I would look at it. I don't know. I mean, maybe I'm wrong, but I think, and again, it's not a knock on Laquan Treadwell, but it's like that premise. Like, you wouldn't see him coming out and just saying that, Devontae Adams or Cooper Kupp are trash. And Patrick Beverley's talking about Chris Paul. And I thought there was a really good point made by Matt Barnes. He basically said, look, we're role players, Pat. Like, when everything's gone, time is done. No one is going to remember us. They will remember guys like Chris Paul. And I just feel like I don't just respect him more, but I also respect JJ Redick more, because Patrick Beverley on TV, he just is not fit to be on TV. I just think the dude, he's no different than one of those Twitter personalities that is just trying to start stuff. Like, he's clearly just a troll. Like, I hope to God he doesn't have, like, after his career's over, I hope to God I don't have to see him on ESPN embarrassing himself, because he's just not, like, you know what I mean? So that's my thoughts on Patrick Beverley. I just don't think I mean, essentially, yeah. I mean, if that's his plan, methodical, but I don't know. Like, I saw his whole take on like the Lakers won a bubble championship, and it's like, congrats, you were literally crying when you won a playing game. So, I mean, I don't know. This guy just doesn't back up anything he says, and he's a pain in the ass, and I don't respect him. And I don't think it's not just me that doesn't respect him. Russell Westbrook doesn't respect him. There's no way Chris Paul respects him now. I know the Grizzlies don't respect. There's no reason to respect him. He hasn't done anything. He hasn't won anything, and he's a pain in the ass. So, at the end of the day, I don't like Patrick Beverley. He's probably my least favorite athlete, and it seems like I'm giving him too much credit because he's just not that relevant. Clearly has to go on TV to be that relevant. So, yeah, I'm not a fan of his, to answer your question. And I thought it was really, as Matt Barnes said, it was inappropriate. It was disrespectful. I mean, you didn't go on and critique CP3. You didn't have analysis. You just flat out disrespected him and trashed him. And so, for that reason, it just adds on to a guy that I just don't care about. I'm sure he's got a chip on his shoulder because the Lakers gave up on him years ago. But he needs to get over himself because he still has not won anything. We move on. Might clip that, might not. We'll see. What's up, Alex? How you doing? Glad to see you on here. Appreciate you supporting the channel. I'm not going to answer that question. I appreciate you muting that. It's got to be appropriate, guys. I have no problem answering questions and stuff and doing Q&As, but it's got to be appropriate because you never know who's watching, and I'm just not going to answer that question. If Pat Bev was a Laker, you'd love him. Probably not. I genuinely don't like him. Like, I just don't like him as a player. And I can tell you this. For anybody that's out there that thinks I'm one of those people, like, oh, well, he's on my team, so I gotta love him, go check my tweets on Joey Gallo. Like, I'm a diehard Yankee fan. Love the Yankees. But Joey Gallo, I can't stand Joey Gallo. Like, I don't think he's good as far as the term of how much they gave up for him. And just like the level, his name is always up here. I just don't think he's that great of a player. Obviously to be in the MLB you are, but he's not even hitting like 200. I don't know. He annoys me, and I did not want him to begin with. So no, I don't go with that one because I don't, just because I don't like a player and they join my team doesn't mean that I'm not going to stop disliking the player. Like, they got to prove something to me. Jake, you and Pops have the same ideals as Patrick Beverley. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure a lot of people do. My dad doesn't like him either for the most part. I mean, we've had this conversation and stuff. Darksaver, welcome, and thank you for donating. I appreciate that. Sports, I don't understand what they are. Haha, what's going on, Jake? Anything new? Just chilling, relaxing, talking to people I like on here. It's always fun to be able to go live and, just chop it up with people that you care about, It's always fun. I love it, and I love being able to do it after a long day of just doing deliveries, because I was doing deliveries, for a while for Uber Eats. I didn't do DoorDash today. I like Uber Eats more than DoorDash. So if anyone's wondering, which one I like more, I've tried them both. I think Uber Eats is way better, but that's just my opinion. Thoughts on The Boys Season 3 trailer? Looks amazing. It looks crazy. Like, they're really going there. Like, they're going to make Carl Urban's character, they're going to make, they're going to make him a soup. I cannot even believe that. Like, I felt like at some point they were going to have to do something like that, but man, I'm excited. I'm not going to lie. I'm very excited for that. And the fact it's coming out like June 3rd, man, I'm probably going to binge that in a day or two. I mean, like, I freaking love those shows. It's just, I've been waiting for that. I've been waiting for Invincible. I've been waiting for Obi-Wan. I've been waiting for, the upcoming Thor movie to come out. So I've been waiting for some stuff for sure. And then there's a Resident Evil TV show coming out soon. And there's a Predator, like Alien vs. Predator. There's a Predator prequel called Prey that's coming out. And it's a TV series, I think. Might be a movie. I think it's a TV series, and I can't wait for it. Do you think Odell is a must resign, or do you think the Rams can repeat without him? So this is a good question. I do think the Rams can repeat without Odell, but I want Odell. Because there's always, the opportunity. Well, now Tutu Atwell and Jacob Harris have more reps, but at the same time, what did I say when they went out and got Odell? I said they needed in my opinion anyway, they needed the depth, because you just never know when a guy's going to go down. And then sure enough, shortly after that, Robert Woods got hurt. Done for the year. You don't know. It's that type of sport. Anything can happen. So, yeah. Darion Kendrick on that single-digit number 6. Yeah, interesting. I thought he'd wear 11, but definitely interesting there. McVay is talking about bringing OBJ back. Yeah, that's the hope. The yard or drum line. Stomp the yard. I didn't even see stomp the yard. Stomp the yard or drum line. I don't know what that is, William. Could you specify that? I'd like to answer your question, but I don't know what that is. Disney World doesn't count. Interesting. Let's see. 4D chest, I assure you. Hello, Jake. How are you, buddy? I'm doing well, my friend. How are you, Paul? What's up, Nolan? Are you losing sleep over the Rams' strength of schedule? No. I'm not losing sleep over anything but me losing sleep because I can't sleep. Anybody that knows me, my sleep schedule is all over the place. So I definitely don't get 6 hours a day. Yeah, that's how I'm losing sleep. Gotta admit, I've never heard of Joey Gallo. Really? Yeah, he's the Rams. Dear God. Oh, see, losing sleep. He's the Yankees left fielder. So, what's the Rams linebacker situation? Pretty darn good. Maybe the best in a long time. I mean, you got Bobby Wagner, you got Ernest Jones, Christian Roseboom, Trayvon Howard, and Jake Hummel. I think that's a really good linebacker group. All 5 of them should make it, and could make it, sorry. If they go with 4, I think it's going to be Hummel over Roseboom, but we'll see. After watching some USFL, are there any players or coaches that could end up on an NFL team soon? Well, I mean, I got to go first off with my guy, Kyle Sloter. He's just shown you, no matter how much this guy gets beat up, no matter how badly the offensive line fails to protect him, no matter what happens, he's just going to continue to truck along and play at a high level. He's clearly the best quarterback in the league. I did think it was him and Te'amu, and I still think it's him and Te'amu, but I think Sloter's ahead of Te'amu now. Like, I'm really impressed with Kyle Sloter. And not just because he's like a friend of mine, but, just watching him, that what he's been able to do with all those injuries. You talk about having the groin injury, and, he's got a chest injury and an ankle, and, he's dealing with a lot. Not an ankle, a wrist, and I want to say groin, wrist, chest, and shoulder. I think he's got like a separated shoulder too, and he's playing with it. So, dude's made out of steel, adamantium, whatever you want to call it. But I think he's definitely going to be in it. I think sticking with the Breakers, Johnny Dixon should be back in the NFL. Jordan Ellis has done an incredible job at running back. I think he should be back in the NFL. Now on the other side of the ball, Davin Bellamy, definitely. I think Jonathan Adams, he'll be back in the NFL, the wide receiver. Jared Fernandez, I think, should be back. What's his face? Diggs, I forget his first name. It's totally off the top of my head right now, but Diggs should be in the NFL. And then I think when you look at other teams, Kavontae Turpin, the wide receiver, he should be in the NFL. I forget the one guy. Shalani something. I don't know. He had 2 interceptions last week. But No, there are definitely some guys that should make an NFL team for sure. Um, Appreciate that, Kareem. I try to stay consistent. It's tough, but you know, makes me sick to my stomach seeing the Houston Chitros massacring the Red Sox. I'm not an Astros fan. I'm sure as hell not a Red Sox fan. So I just want them both to lose at that point. Being a Yankee fan. Thank you, Adam. Appreciate you. DoorDash be taxing crazy. Yeah, so Nolan, DoorDash, I still use it, like, but it's my secondary. So when I have Uber Eats open, like that's my primary, and if for it takes a while for me to get an order to come in, a delivery, and I have DoorDash open, DoorDash just pops open an order, and then say Uber Eats pops open an order. I'll look at the two and I'll weigh them. I'll be like, well, Uber Eats is paying 15 on this one, and the tip could be more than that, included. And on this one, to go even further, DoorDash, it's paying me what, like $8? I'll go with Uber Eats. You know what I mean? So that's kind of how I've decided to do that. But I mean, I use them both. I just think that Uber Eats is better. Plus, there's this 100% tuition thing that no one talks about, where if you get 2,000 deliveries or 2,000 rides or whatever, then you're eligible to have 100% tuition on it's for Arizona State online. So that's a goal of mine right now. I don't have a degree, as many of you know. I know I'm one of the people that are outspoken about not needing a degree, and I do think there's a lot of truth to that. But if I could get 100% tuition, you bet your ass I'm going to go after a degree for sure. Do you know when the draft pick will be announced in LA soon? What do you mean draft pick? Like, yeah, I don't know what you mean. Can you specify on that, Paul? Yes, I have seen Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, and it's phenomenal. Love it. I don't understand the critique about it, but I think it's great, and you should definitely check it out. I don't know if... I don't think we're on that level yet where we can start talking about Doctor Strange. I still think we should wait about a month, I don't want to spoil it for anybody, so if we wait about a month, then if it gets spoiled on the channel, we've had over a month to watch it, that type deal. The Boys trailer tough. Homelander, man. He's a nightmare. It is also getting a prequel on HBO Max. Really? That is awesome. I did not know that. It is getting a prequel on HBO Max? I heard that Skarsgård was kind of trying to push for it. Okay. How did I miss this? It's going to be called Welcome to Derry. 1960s. In the time leading up to the events of Part 1. Huh. Andy Muschietti, the guy who directed Part 1 and Part 2, is going to executive produce the series along with Barbara and Jason Fuchs. According to sources, developed the story for the show with Fuchs writing the script, and he would also direct the first episode should the project go to series. Yeah, it's in development. The hope is that it does go to series. We'll see what happens, but I'm pretty confident that something like that wouldn't just be in production and never come to series, because that would be a huge hit, because it is awesome. Yeah, he's always wanted to stay in LA, so that didn't come as a shock to me. Oh, their movies? Yeah, I've never heard of them. Let me look it up. Drumline. Nick Cannon and Zoe Saldana. Interesting. Show style marching band, and then what's the other one? Stomp the Yard. Yeah, I haven't seen any of them. I mean, I'd probably. It looks like I might be a little bit more interested in Stomp the Yard than the other one. Although I like the cast more for the other movie, but I haven't seen either, so I can't really say. Out of rookie DBs, who do you think will make the most impact this season? I think this is an easy one. And you guys know I love Quentin Lake, but I got to give it to Jacoby Durant. I think he is going to start day one at nickel, and I think he's going to blow people away. No. I wasn't saying they were necessarily interested in Pat Beverley. I was just kind of, giving my thoughts on why I don't like Patrick Beverley. Which Ram do you think will have a breakout season this year? I'm gonna say Allen Robinson. Stick to something consistent. But if I had to go defensive side, somebody that wouldn't be talked about enough, Terrell Burgess. I think this is going to be a year that he really explodes onto the scene. You should not go to the Bears. No. I think he'll be back. I just think it might take a little bit. Yeah, right. Yes, hit the like button for me, please. That does very much help me and help the channel. Cup, Robinson, Van Jeff, Tutu, Powell, and Benny Sco. If the Rams resign OBJ, one of those guys has to go. Can't carry 7 receivers. I don't know. I think you can. I think you can keep 8 because Harris is also a receiver. They'll just list him at tight end, when doing the roster cuts. But I think they'll keep 8. I think they'll keep everybody. Any early predictions for rookie offensive and defensive player of the year? So I'm going to say offensive. I'm going to go with Oh, this is a good one. Offensive. Don't think it'll be a quarterback. The only one that would be possible is Kenny Pickett. And I don't know if he'll start necessarily. I think they're going to start Mariota. Sorry, Trubisky. I was thinking about Mariota, like if he were to go down, then you could see Ritter, but I don't think Ritter's going to beat out Mariota. Not this year anyway. So then you look at running backs and you're like, okay, Breece Hall, sorry. Everyone's like obsessed with. I'm not as high on Breece Hall. Plus, I really like Michael Carter. I don't know why they drafted another running back, but I don't know. Like, Kenneth Walker is the best running back, in my opinion, in the draft, but it's Seattle. Like, are they going to use him? Are they going to Rashad Penny him? Like, what are they going to do? And then you look at wide receiver, and you're like, okay, you have Garrett Wilson with the Jets. You have Drake London with the Falcons. That's a potential one. The best receiver in the draft is Jameson Williams, in my opinion. If he's ready to go, him with Jared Goff and the Lions, that could be something. We saw what Amon-Ra St. Brown could do, in a lot fewer games. It's tough. I just have a feeling it's going to be Jameson Williams with the Lions. I think I'm going to pick Jameson Williams to be the offensive rookie of the year. Either that or it'll be someone that comes out of nowhere. But I'll say Jameson Williams with an honorable mention to Drake London. Defensive, I think it's going to be Kayvon Thibodeau or Sauce Gardner. I mean, Sauce is flashy enough where he could get he could get noticed where he wins the award. But it is tough for corners to win that type of award. So, I don't know. I think Thibodeau is probably the safer pick for me. because he's going to start day one. He's going to be in New York just like Sauce Gardner, but he's going to be rushing the passer. And for, casual fans, typically they're not going to look at the corner. They're going to look at who's rushing the passer and whatnot and, look where the ball is. And I just feel like Thibodeau, if he goes off, you're more likely to see Thibodeau become a star than Sauce Gardner, like in that level, because he's the one that's chasing the quarterback. And, now if Sauce Gardner plays like, Trayvon Diggs, and gets a lot of picks, then yeah, he'll be in the conversation. But I don't know, even if he's like fantastic and like shuts down guys like I believe he can do, because I think he's the best corner in the draft, I just think like, excuse me. I just think like, when you're a cornerback rookie of the year and you're trying to get all those votes, it's like, it just seems to me like if you're not a guy that's picking off the ball 6 times, you're not going to get it. Like they don't reward you for good coverage anymore. It's like, hey, go and get interceptions. Yeah, I'm gonna say Jamison Williams for offensive player of the year, offensive rookie of the year, and I'm gonna say Kayvon Thibodeau for defensive as of right now. Another great question by Dingus. Appreciate that. Paul, hey Jake, what's happened with Julio Jones, James Bradbury, and Hikes and Gronk all haven't signed yet? I don't think the Rams are going to be interested in any of them. But yeah, they all haven't signed yet. I'm sure that'll change pretty soon for sure. As the offseason rolls on, sadly, we're going to see injuries. We're going to see, maybe some tension between guys that want to get paid at the wide receiver position because of everything that happened with Christian Kirk resetting the market. So, I think we haven't seen the last of drama in the NFL, I can tell you that much. When I first heard that LeBron was coming to LA, I was very happy, but his politics is a real downer. I mean, the way I look at it, I understand what you're saying. Like, I understand some people don't like, in your face, rah, I'm reading this book, social justice, whatever. I get why people don't like that. I do. I understand. But at the same time, I'm also like, you like the player, you don't have to like the person. And I'm not saying him being, advocating for rights that he believes in makes him a bad person. I'm just saying for you personally, if you're watching basketball, you're looking at a player and you like the player, right? You could just like the player. Like, I'll be honest with you. This is a great example. It has nothing to do with social justice, but like, in advocating. It's actually quite the opposite because I don't think he's a great person. And that is Evander Kane of the Edmonton Oilers. I don't think he's a great person. He's not a guy I'd go up and have him autograph something, right? Like, he's done some stuff, and I'm not a big fan of his character. However, I like watching him play hockey, okay? He just set the record for most goals in a playoff series. Like, I like watching him play hockey. Doesn't mean I have to like him as a person, you know what I'm saying? And so I guess I would just apply some of that when you're talking about a guy like LeBron James. I understand how you feel like, maybe your views don't align with his, and so like that's the way it is. I'm not saying that's me personally, but I'm saying I understand that's how you feel. Just like I would just try to focus more on the player than the person. You can like both, and what I'll find is that I end up liking both when I interview players, and when you get to meet them. Like Robert Woods, I could tell you right away when I met Robert Woods, I like this guy as a person, I like this guy as a player, like right off the bat. But we don't know most about these guys, until you find out this guy, donated to charity or whatever, like you don't know. So I don't know, it's just like kind of one of those things, in my opinion anyway. Not trying to be divisive, it's just my thoughts. I understand why some people get aggravated. I would just say focus more on the player, not really the person. It doesn't mean like don't focus on the person. Like if you like their views, great. But I'm saying if you like watching LeBron, but you don't like his politics because they don't align with your views, or maybe you think he's too radical or whatever, then yeah, just focus on him as a player. There's nothing wrong with that, and I don't think anybody's gonna throw you under the bus if you do. Do you think Noteboom will solidify the left side of the line in run blocking? I think Noteboom's going to be great. As long as he stays healthy, This is the Rams project. They've been building him up since 2018 when he was selected in the 3rd round out of TCU. They really, really like him. I'm excited to see what he can do. I was hoping Lance McCutcheon was going to stick in the Rams roster, but he got waived today. You and me both. We're trying to interview the guy, and he got cut, so it sucks. But I don't know what that really means. They have a lot of open spots now, and I don't really know where that goes. I don't know what... I don't know. I don't know what to think, Agreed with that. Oh, my guy Tronco. Yeah, I'm not the biggest fan of Joey Gallo, Joe, as you know. Is he a dump truck? Well, that term could be used multiple ways, so I'm going to avoid that term and just say that he's dog water, okay? And I don't actually think he's that. I just, I get annoyed with him. That's essentially, my whole thing with Joey Gallo. I don't like when guys go up to the plate and they go home run or nothing and they strike out all the time. Joe's laughing at me on... Appreciate you joining the show, man. Always a pleasure talking with you. The Yankees won again. Was it 27 now? Losing count. They're just killing it. This year's schedule is going to lead to action-packed games, barring any injuries. Could be one of the best Rams seasons ever. You're right. I really think this is a season where, I was talking about this yesterday. Okay. Actually, I tweeted it like late this morning, last night. I don't know. I mixed those up. But anyway, you get my point. I tweeted something out where this guy was saying that the Rams and Chargers are plastic organizations because they didn't have a lot of Twitter followers, whatever. First off, if you're basing organizations off of Twitter following, you need to get a life. Okay? Secondly, if you care that much about Twitter, like the following, you need to get a life, period. But I'm sitting here and this guy on Twitter is calling them a plastic organization. I'm like, what? They just won the Super Bowl, dude. If you want to call the Chargers that, okay, they didn't win anything. They didn't even get to the playoffs. But the Rams fitting them in there like that was a little odd. But no, this is where this is going to go, okay? The Rams, and I don't know if it's going to happen, okay? I don't know. But the closest that we have come to the Patriots dynasty with Tom Brady and Bill Belichick is the Los Angeles Rams. And I saw people saying, well, with all due respect, the Chiefs, what about the Chiefs? What about the Chiefs? The Chiefs don't have a 35-year-old coach, a 36-year-old coach. It's all about the coach. I don't care that you have Patrick Mahomes. It didn't mean anything last year. You lost to Joe Burrow. You lost to a second-year quarterback coming off a torn ACL. I don't care they had Patrick Mahomes. You don't have Tyreek Hill anymore, so no one's scared. I'm sure you'll be a really good offense still, but if the Chiefs come in last place in the AFC West, I won't be shocked. Period. But my point is that the Rams have Sean McVay, a coach that everyone in the league is trying to find the next of. And when you take that into account, what Bill Belichick did with Tom Brady was insane. Okay, they won all those Super Bowls. They went to all those Super Bowls. They were that dominant. We're seeing the potential, the next closest thing to that is this Rams team. The Chiefs didn't just win the Super Bowl. They lost in the AFC title game. The Rams have gone to 2 under Sean McVay since 2017. And they've already won one. Sean McVay at age 36 has already won a Super Bowl. So here's the deal, okay? I'm not saying they are the next dynasty, but the closest that we've come since that Patriots run is the LA Rams. The Chiefs have an older coach. Andy Reid can't be coaching another 30 years if he wants to. Sean McVay could. That's what we're getting at here. And I'll tell you right now, I think a lot of that stuff about him leaving was overblown. I think he'll consider it over time. I don't think it's anytime soon. And he's going to stay for at least 5 years because he's going to see out the rest of Stafford's deal. But, I mean, you think about it, and it's not even an argument. Guys, we're witnessing the greatest section of Rams history. This is the greatest roster organization. This era of Rams history is the greatest of all time for their history, period. Like, you have to understand how crazy that is, because the 40s, they won a title in 45. They won a title in 51. They were in the 50 championship. I believe they were in another one as well. The 60s, they had the Fearsome Foursome era. While they didn't win a title, they were consistently very good with the Fearsome Foursome and Roman Gabriel. Okay? And then the 70s, they were really good in the 70s. The 80s, they had their run in the 80s. The 90s, there were times where they were bad. There were times where they were really good. They, went to the Super Bowl, the 1999 to 2000 year. They won the Super Bowl. 2000s to 2010s, even as bad as that was, because we think of the so-sar Rams, like, if you really think about it, as bad as the Rams were at one point, it was just from 2007, really, to 2015. 2016. In 2015, they weren't even that bad. I mean, they had those seasons where they were really bad from, 2011, 2007 to 2011. Okay? So they're called the SOSAR. They are known for being like that team no one took seriously. But when you really think about it, the grand scheme of things, the Rams organization has been one of the most consistent in NFL history. Every decade, they've had really good teams. But now, my point is, you have all of these teams, all of these really good moments, these really good players, these championships. They have 4 total now. All these really good teams. And now I'm telling you, after all those eras, the Van Brocklins, the Waterfields, the Elric Crazy Legs Hirsches of the world, the Fearsome Foursome Rams, Jack Snow, Roman Gabriel, Jim Everett, Jack Youngblood, the list goes on. After all those, greatest show on turf, we are living in the best era of Rams football. Period. I understand, and I'm a huge believer that the greatest show on turf would have absolutely been a dynasty. But here's the thing, okay? This is where we take this argument and this whole spiel to the next level. Because what is not talked about nearly enough is that the Rams and the greatest show on turf, that was because of 2 things, 2 key components, besides the players. You had a leadership coming from Dick Vermeil, and you had the scheme from Mike Martz. And I'm not trying to disrespect Dick Vermeil. He's been on our show 3 times. So I'm not trying to disrespect him, but I'm going to say this. And this may sound as bold as it is, but it is the truth, whether people want to admit it or not. Dick Vermeil was forced out by the Rams to give Mike Martz the opportunity to become the head coach so they could keep him. But I would make the argument that if they kept Dick Vermeil and Mike Martz left, I think they still would have been as good, if not better. Because the offense is already in place. You probably could have found somebody to run it. They were the key ingredients, though. Make no mistake about it. Dick Vermeil without Mike Martz wasn't very good. You could also argue neither were the players. They got a lot better, later in the 90s. But here's what I'm going to say. And this is why this Rams team is not being taken as seriously as they should. They're not being talked about anywhere near the Tampa Bay Buccaneers were when they won the Super Bowl with Brady. But that's fine. However, I don't think all Rams fans even know what's going on. This Rams era of football is the best in their entire existence. And a big reason, besides all the talent, the GM that's not afraid to make any move, it's the head coach. It's because Sean McVay, bold statement incoming, is the combination of Dick Vermeil's leadership and Mike Martz's scheming. Why are we not talking about that? Like, the big issue with the greatest show on turf is that when Dick Vermeil left, Mike Martz wasn't that good of a head coach. You went to the Super Bowl and played the Patriots, but you had all of the talent from the previous team with Dick Vermeil that it happened. But make no mistake about it, there was a very talented team, and Mike Martz was not that great of an NFL coach. He was a fantastic offensive coordinator. And I understand, we're talking about Spygate in the comments, and I get that. But just think about it. He still did not get the job done. It doesn't matter about all of that. It does matter to a degree, but I want a guy that gets it done. And I want a guy that keeps the culture together, keeps the team together. I interviewed Tommy Pauly and others. Mike Martz did not keep that team together. The organization crumbled. How do you think they had a dark era? They had a dark era because the golden age, which should have taken way longer to die off, the golden age died pretty quickly because Mike Martz wasn't capable of being the head coach. It's not that he was a bad head coach, it's just he wasn't on the level of Dick Vermeil. And then when they stopped winning at that level, turned their back on Kurt Warner, the whole thing, right? We're talking about the whole thing. Sean McVay is 36 years old, guys. He's got the leadership skills of Dick Vermeil and the scheming ability of Mike Martz. The football IQ of Mike Martz, football IQ of John Gruden, of Bill Belichick, you name it. He's one of the greatest coaches that has ever been on a sideline, and he's only 36. So this is how it works. The Rams may not end up being the next dynasty. But if it's not the Rams, if it's not this team, then I don't know who is going to be the next great dynasty like the Patriots. That's what I'm getting at. Because this team is they're just not afraid to go after the big guy. They're not afraid to make the move that other GMs make, and all of a sudden they can't sleep at night because if it doesn't work, they're getting fired. Les Snead is fine making those moves even if they don't work. Shooters shoot, and they've continued to shoot. And furthermore, what I'll say is that this team has gone through so many different things. Like, imagine if Todd Gurley didn't have that freak arthritis. Think about that. Like, do you really think a fully healthy Todd Gurley, they're losing the Super Bowl against the Patriots? I don't. What about if Jared Goff just doesn't fall off a cliff out of nowhere? His play completely fell off a cliff. He was looking like a superstar. I mean, those are the things that other teams, their fans are talking about 10 years later saying, man, if Jared Goff just didn't fall off that cliff, or if Todd Gurley just didn't get hurt, we would have won the Super Bowl. And the Rams are sitting there like, they both happened, and we still won the Super Bowl, and we won it within the next 3 years. See, there's no excuses made with this organization. They get stuff done. Make no mistake about it. And that is why this team, with the insert gif here, the Amazon TV money, this team with the Amazon TV money coming in, so the salary cap's going to rise. This team finally getting Jared Goff, Todd Gurley, Brandon Cooks, Michael Brockers, all off the books. Everyone's off the books. Now we get to see what this team's all about. They've put together a core four. The core four is Cooper Kupp, Jalen Ramsey, Aaron Donald, and Matthew Stafford. Core four. Now, that's not to say other guys can't emerge, but they put together 4 cornerstone players. They signed their bookend left tackle of the future. They have all sorts of talent, every position. They really don't have a hole anywhere, unless they're being picky. And they still are drafting, they're getting guys like Quentin Lake in the 6th round. You think this team is going anywhere? Like, you think this team's going to ever fall off? Maybe if McVay leaves, but I don't see that happening anytime soon. That's why I think that they're going to win it this year. And if they don't win the Super Bowl this year, they'll still be in the Super Bowl, I think. And they'll be back the year after. This team is sustained, sustained for the long term. So, I'm just saying, guys, the Rams, they may not be the next great dynasty, but if it's not them, there's not going to be another one. This is as set up as a team has been for this moment. And while I'm at it, Matthew Stafford. Well, you said as soon as he went to a really good team, or as soon as he went to a good team, he would win. I was getting that stuff in my DMs and on Twitter and in the comment section of YouTube early on in the season. Like as if I was wrong and you were wrong. Matthew Stafford has played on a good team for 1 year and won a Super Bowl. And threw 50 total touchdowns and 6,000 yards. And he's the only quarterback to ever do that in the history of the league when you combine all of the playoffs. So now, Matthew Stafford's going into year 2 with this offense that's going to take a step forward, add more stuff to the playbook, probably have a better run game than the 24th ranked rushing attack in the league. Offensive line's probably going to be as good, if not better, and younger. And they added Allen Robinson. So they finally have a guy that's going to be able to go up and high point the football. So I don't know how this team is going to fall off, but that's where we're at. So those are my thoughts. I will be clipping that for sure, but those are my thoughts on the Rams. I think because, and I spent a lot of time on this because I knew I was going to clip this because I knew I had to say it. It's been on my mind. It's not just because, I like the Rams, I cover the Rams, all that. I wouldn't say it if I didn't believe it because I'm putting my neck on the line making a video like this. But the Rams are the next dynasty, and if they aren't the next dynasty, there is not going to be a next dynasty. Period. Exclamation point. End of story. I will move on. All right, we got a lot of catching up to do. Appreciate everyone supporting the channel and participating in the Q&A tonight. Hi, bro. Should the Washington call the Washington Brewers? I'd rather have Washington football team, but if you wanted the Brewers, I don't really like the name Brewers. I don't know. It doesn't really make any sense to me, but I understand why they're called that, but I don't know what it is, but I feel like the Bills are very overhyped. They had the number 1 defense last year. Mahomes ran through it, and they just can't mess with the Chiefs. Yeah, I'm not on that boat. I think that they are very, very good, and they're probably the only team I worry about against the Rams. I think they'll lose 3-4 games this year, and I don't think the Bills are going to be one of them. But I think, Super Bowl time, this is a team that could beat the Rams in the Super Bowl. We had a tough schedule last year, same this year, and still won the Super Bowl. A degree can only help. Student loan debt sucks. It's true. Is Joe Kelly related to Don Kelly? I don't know. That's an interesting question, Joe. Word, I feel that. 100% tuition is a move for sure. Hell yeah. Get your coins, fam. Draft players induced in LA. Sorry about that. Introduced in LA. Okay. I think that already happened. I'm not sure, though. Yeah, the Multiverse of Madness reactions have been a little disappointing. You thought, I don't know. I expected a little bit more positive reactions, I guess, and I've seen a lot of negative, and it's kind of disappointed me. I don't normally drink from the side. I just had to do it just so I didn't go out of focus, if that makes any sense. Drumline is Nick Cannon best movie. Yes, okay. I can address this. I guess I haven't addressed this whole show. Yes, our Downtown Rams Instagram page got hacked. Someone pretended to be somebody that we were following and they were following us. And, long story short, they got us hacked. We didn't click a link, so be very cautious because um, now they can get your information even without a link. It's kind of scary, like the level of how far hacking has come. So yeah, just we're gonna try to get back tomorrow. I think is when we'll be able to try again. Really, what we're trying to do is get it so if we put in the code, because her number, Alexa's number, I think is still in the system. So we're gonna try and get that code put in, and go from there. See if we can get it back. Try to verify it. I don't know, but I will tell you this. Okay, this confirms the suspicion I always had that two-factor authentication is nothing but a bunch of bullshit and a waste of time. I have literally sat there and gone through two-factor authentication on every single site that needs it, and I still to this day have no idea why they have it in place, because if the hacker takes over your account, guess what they do? They turn off two-factor authentication, or even worse, they make their phone the new two-factor authentication. So it doesn't work. And if if Instagram thought for 2 seconds, hey, this is probably a bad idea. If we use two-factor authentication, we should make it so, like, I don't know, her phone number should be used and not the other person. Nope. So, I mean, long story short, social media has the worst customer service. It's non-existent. They have the worst support team you will ever see. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, they're an abomination. Instagram should actually feel ashamed because these people get hacked all the time, like DTR and whatnot, and Instagram just doesn't do anything about it. They make you follow these steps. They don't even have something that you can just report. You have to go through all this hassle to do everything, so it's just a pain in the ass. And yeah, I really hate them for it, and I think the person who hacked our account is a bitch, and yeah, I kind of hope they step on glass, but that is as far as I'm going to go with that. It does irk me. I am upset about it. And, I'm more upset with the idea, not just the fact it's, 10,000, 10,000 followers, which I'm sure we can get back to in some capacity. But it's the fact we've used that as communication method, and we've developed relationships with people over Instagram. And so that's all gone. And on top of that, they're trying to use our Instagram as a buffer, which actually is probably a good thing as far as the health of Downtown Rams Instagram, because if we do get it back, it doesn't look like they're deleting anything. But my biggest issue is that they're trying to deceive our audience. They're trying to get you guys to click on that stupid, crap and DM that stupid, I'm trying not to curse, but I really hate that person. I'm going to say it right now. I don't care how bad this sounds, but I wish there was I'll say this is the least I can do from R-rated, okay? But I'll say this. I wish there was a vigilante out there that just took down, and you can use your imagination, but they just took out every sort of scammer, hacker, or anything, because I'm sorry, your life doesn't matter. It doesn't. If you're going to go throughout your day and you're going to scam these law-abiding, hard-working-ass citizens, you know what? I don't care what happens to you. I hope you piss off the wrong person, they DDoS your computer, and they come after you. The people that hack Sony, well, I haven't seen them around, have you? Probably not, because I'm sure Sony has their own bounty hunters and stuff. You're messing with a lot of money, So I normally don't rant about stuff like this, but yeah, as I started to do this live stream with that in mind, it started to upset me. So now that I'm upset again, yeah, Maj and Jake, I just want bad things to happen to people like that, if you are a terrible person, I just want terrible things to happen to you. Not to go all political, or it's sad that it has to be called that, but the shooter for Buffalo, I just want bad things to happen to people like that. It's not me being a bad person, because guess what? If you're not a bad person, do you know what? I don't want anything bad to happen to you. What a mind-riveting idea. the idea that you don't want something bad to happen to somebody because they're a good person. And then the only people that you want to actually have something bad happen to you are the bad people. But then you're told that, well, it's not nice to think that way. That's a dangerous thing to believe in, and it goes against everything that, no, I'm sorry. Karma, yeah, karma always comes around. So just, I don't know, man. I'm sorry I got into that. That has been brewing. I haven't talked about it. I'm really upset about it. I'm hoping we get it back, but man, I hate scammers. Like, I hate them. Like, I loathe scammers. Like, I just hate the idea that people like you guys who are like working 2 jobs, like just working your ass off to make ends meet. And then there's these people that are sitting there like, and they're taking all of your money. Just makes me so angry. I can't, if I continue to talk about this, it will literally dominate the entire show. So I'm not going to continue to talk about this. But as you can see, I just hate that. I hate that shit so much. Your content is our saving grace in the terrible time known as the NFL offseason. LL, hoping your MCU project might come to fruition, but thoughts on how much adamantium will affect the MCU? Thank you, Alex. Yeah, I'm hoping it comes to fruition as well. I guess I'll find out from the higher ups within the next 24 hours, I would assume, and I'll keep you posted on that front. But yeah, so the adamantium, I think, is going to have some sort of impact on the MCU, because I don't think you can have Wolverine without having the adamantium. I'm hoping they don't retcon it and make it like vibranium. Like, a vibranium Wolverine would not feel right to me. But then again, they might actually do that. I don't know. I think they'll bring it. They'll probably use Secret Wars or something like that to bring in the X-Men, but who knows? I can tell you this right now, from somebody that I kind of trust. Secret Wars is not going to be about the comic accurate Secret Wars. So for people that want it to be comic accurate, yeah, it's not going to be. So just keep that in mind. Don't be mad. MCU is loosely based on the Marvel comics. Doesn't mean they're a copy. You always have to keep that in mind because they do a lot of different things. Interesting. I know what you mean there. I've definitely been in that boat too, Nolan, for different type of actors. Ramswave few. Yeah, I was a little surprised. I don't know why they're waiving them. Those are roster spots, so maybe it's for USFL players. I don't know. It seems a little early for that because they still have plenty of games left, but I don't know. That's interesting. The worst team in the NFL this year. I have to take a drink for this one. It's just water, guys. Relax. Not like I haven't had like beer on the show before. Worst team in the NFL this year. I know a lot of people are talking about Seattle. I do not see Seattle as the worst team in the NFL. I don't think anybody in the NFC is the worst team in the NFL. Now I think about it. I just don't. I mean, Carolina could have a really bad season. Tronco texted me the Jets. I don't know about that, man. The Jets have a good roster. Tough. I'm going to say the Texans. Poor Lovie Smith is just being used as a buffer. I don't think he has any chance. I just don't think they have the roster, if I'm being honest. But yeah, I'm going to say the Texans. Yeah, I like the trailer. I was a little disappointed in the CGI because it wasn't very good for, She-Hulk. But I don't know. It should be a nice series to watch. Yeah, Nolan, the trailer's interesting. I'm hoping we get some Daredevil and some Jessica Jones thrown in there. That is a rumor going on. I'll believe it when I see it. But, the CGI was a little odd, though. I'm not going to lie. I don't think No Boom changed his jersey. That's weird though. I don't know, but if like I don't know what Tom Brady's gonna do because like I don't think the Bucs are winning the Super Bowl, and I feel like he obviously only came back assuming that they were gonna win, and so if they lose, like he's got to retire, right? Like that would be 2 years in a row. Like I don't know. I'm just not really sure how to feel about that. Let's see. Yeah, it's on sale right now. Dump truck, yeah. Tronco. My God. No, it's a. I don't. I think it was one of those things, Nolan, where like you and I say something funny, like you say crayon eater, and I say like dog water or something, and like the guy thought he was being funny. He was like plastic franchise, and it was like it didn't land at all. People like that, man. They're funny. Facts. Yeah, that was weird. What the hell, man? What kind of question is that? I'll take Eli Apple because oh, I'll take Eli Apple because he's not as loud as Beverley. Like he talks, you know, he talks shit for not being that great, but like I don't know. I don't like either, but at least Eli Apple has seen a championship game. Beverley has not. Uh, I think I answered this already, but Jacoby Durant. I agree. Yeah, I think that's funny too. And the whole fan thing, like, bro, if they don't have fans, then how do I have over 13,000 Twitter not Twitter. Can't even talk. How do I have over 13,000 subscribers on this channel? Because I can tell you right now, the Marvel content does not pull in the subscribers. I probably lose subscribers every time I put out Marvel content. Even though I've said over and over and over again, this is going to be a channel that I put out what I want, and it's not just a predominantly Rams channel, and we're open to talk about whatever in the Q&As, people still get all upset and like throw fits when I don't talk about the Rams. But the majority of my consumer base are Rams fans. And if I have 13,000 plus subscribers and it's predominantly Rams, it's got to be at least around 13,000 Rams fans, right? We'll say at least 10,000. And if there's 10,000 Rams fans on my YouTube, when I'm a small YouTuber living in upstate New York, how many Rams fans do you think there are? It's probably a lot. It's such a stupid thing. Like the whole, oh, the fan. Who cares, man? Who cares? People brag about the lamest shit, I swear. Which quarterback that moved to a new team this year will end up being the best of them all? Matt Ryan going to the Colts. I think Matt Ryan's going to have a really good year. Yeah, I've noticed that. Oh, of course. I feel like we're repeating questions. Like it just gave me the same questions, but like repeated them. That's really odd. I don't even understand this one. Are you saying that you're better before listening to JE Live? I'm so confused. I think I know what you mean, but it it reads like before JE Live is greater than after JE Live. I don't know. It's kind of funny. I think I know what you're saying, but it's still kind of funny. Let's see here. After seeing all the MCU Disney Plus series besides WandaVision, what character show would you produce next, and what would be the next storyline for them? Um, hmm. I would probably want to produce. I mean, I wouldn't know where the hell to go with the Loki series. Um, I can't see. You need to have Michael Waldron on that because it takes a special kind of person to deal with the multiverse. I'm telling you right now, I would get so carried away with the multiverse, it would be muddy, and I would not come away having a good product. So I would say probably Falcon Winter Soldier. Um, and I don't know if that's getting a season two. I'd say that or Hawkeye because I'd like more of a down to earth one. And I think with Hawkeye, I would probably make it more like lean more towards Kate Bishop. Um, I'll do two. I'll do Hawkeye. I would say Kate Bishop would be like the main character. I think you'd still have some Jeremy Renner in there. But I think it would be Kate Bishop's story from there on. Um, I think you would still see Kingpin and like Echo, and it would like kind of tie into like the whole Daredevil thing they're building up. But for the most part, I think it would be Kate Bishop, and it would be like Yelena Belova. That's kind of how I would see that going, and just kind of maybe the new Avengers type deal, or the Young Avengers, whatever. And then I think with Falcon Winter Soldier, like you have Sam Wilson Captain America now. Winter Soldier would be like post Wakanda Forever. And I think you would probably throw like Vision in there. Because, I mean, like White Vision's still out there. So I think you do something like that where like it's an Avengers level team up and they go up against AIM. I think that'd be cool. Like if you started putting AIM into the MCU, like we're talking MODOK and all of that, you start by using Falcon Winter Soldier. You also expand on, Sharon Carter and like what she was doing. But also, the Thunderbolts as well. I think you could make something nice out of that. So those are the two that I would probably say. But yeah, I think that would be a lot of fun. They're the fifth youngest team in sports. Jake, the Chargers are about to break ground on their new training facility within 90 days. I wonder what the Rams will break. Oh yeah, the Woodland Hills one. Yeah, I don't know much about that. What's your ranking for the MCU films in Phase 4 so far? This is a great question, Nolan. And just for the sake of the fact that we are on the top of our head or off the top of our head, I'm going to go with MCU Phase 4 movies just to make sure I don't miss anything. So far, we've only had we've had 5 movies. We've had Eternals, Shang-Chi, Black Widow, Spider-Man No Way Home, Doctor Strange. So it'd be Spider-Man No Way Home up here, Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness here, and then I'd probably say Shang-Chi, Black Widow, Eternals. Eternals probably could be a lot better. And I think the second one, it will be better now that they've introduced those characters, at least some of them. But I don't know, that Eternals movie, there was so much. I thought there was so much potential, and I felt like it was just kind of underwhelming. Black Widow, I think, is kind of underappreciated because of the timing it came out, right? Like, we're seeing all this new stuff, and then Black Widow comes out because of the pandemic, like 2 years later, and you're like, you can appreciate it because if you're like me and did a watch through, you just watched Infinity War, and you're like, oh, like, shit, that goes together, that's pretty cool. But if you didn't do that, then it kind of had been a minute, and it doesn't really. It would have been a great follow up if they got that out when they were supposed to, but they kind of dropped the ball on that. So I don't know. I feel like if Black Widow came out right before like Infinity War, I think it would have absolutely hit home. Would have done really well. But I just feel like, I mean, after she died to come out with that movie, it just kind of seemed like pointless. I really like it. I think it's underrated. And then Shang-Chi is awesome. Like, I was really happy about Shang-Chi. And what we found out is that, with the She-Hulk trailer, Shang-Chi and She-Hulk were kind of connected because, Tim Roth's Abomination was in it. Abomination is in the She-Hulk show. And he's in that little, that cage. He goes with Wong. And Benedict Wong, by the way, who plays Wong is confirmed for She-Hulk. So he's literally in everything and very likable. No Way Home's the best MCU movie, in my opinion, of all time. It's my favorite movie of all time. I love it. I think it's fantastic. And I love Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. It just probably had no chance of beating the Spider-Man one out because Spider-Man's my favorite, you know? And I just feel like they did right by every Spider-Man fan, making that like a true Spider-Verse movie. And obviously they could have made it more extensive, maybe had Spider-Gwen and Miles Morales and all that, but they kept it with the three, and I think the three really just hit it off. I think that was the right move, and they can expand on it someday, but that was such a good movie. Appreciate that, Brett. Yeah, I mean, I definitely hear you there. Allen Robinson is going to be a monster. Looking forward to Kyron Williams and Jacob Harris being serious weapons for this offense. Hoping Ben Skowronek worst is behind him. I think we ain't done yet. Run it back. There we go. Jake, I saw Daniel Radcliffe as Wolverine. Looks great. I don't know if he will be the next one due to he looks good. Thought it would look. Yeah, I mean, I really want Daniel Radcliffe as the next Wolverine, but we'll see. I can't. I don't know why anybody would want Hugh Jackman back as the next Wolverine in the MCU. He was so good in Logan. That was his send off. Like, I understand you love him as Wolverine, but you got to let that like it completely takes away the impact of the movie Logan if you bring him back after that, in my opinion. Truer words have never been said. Yeah, and I've actually seen Nolan, and this is the thing that made me laugh, is someone said Sam Raimi was a sellout for joining Marvel. Like, I... You do realize he directed 3 Marvel films before this, right? Like, I don't know. People are weird, man. Thank you, Paul. Rated R Jake is amazing. Demon J.E. Majin Jake. Yes. Karma. Can you speak on Stafford consistently underthrowing deep balls last? Was he injured or has he lost the deep ball? Just something that concerned me last year. I don't think it's that much of a concern. I mean, I think he was hurt, and a lot of that came down to that, but I also think there were times where he got hit while he's throwing, and guys ran the wrong routes, and, Deshaun Jackson never came back for the football and actually tried to make a play on it. Like, if it wasn't right in his hands, then he was just going to let it get picked. So there's a lot of different things that come down to it, but that's why getting Allen Robinson is going to be so huge, because he'll be able to bail a bad pass out of Stafford, bail him out, That home field advantage is enough to make me not want them to win. I think it's so obnoxious. I'm sorry. I really don't like that the Birmingham Stallions get every game as a home game and everyone else doesn't. And they're of course, shocker, they're undefeated. It really irks me. I'm here. Yeah, I agree with that. I already expect Feige to do Secret Wars accurate to the book. You don't expect or you do expect? Because I don't think he's going to do it accurate. Jake, I think the cuts that the Rams are making will be more money to sign OBJ. I don't know. Those are very, very small amount of... Like, you're not spending a lot of money on UDFAs. CGI just feels weird. I don't know. It's a TV show. Disney Plus series. Yep. I know. It's like... He's sitting there like... and like no one actually is interacting with him. No worries. Yes. Halloween Ends. That will be the last film in that series. I mean, they're gonna make another Halloween, but I think they'll keep it under wraps for a little bit. I absolutely believe so, Joe. Nestor Cortez is everything you look for in a Cy Young candidate. He strikes guys out. He gets outs. He's an innings eater. He wins games. He's pitching for a team that is going to be competing for a World Series this year. Probably the best team in baseball, and probably the scariest looking team through, 40 games or whatever that they've played. I mean, yeah, he's got to be right now. He's got to be one of the favorites for sure. I love Cortez. He's my favorite pitcher right now. Appreciate that. Yeah, I like doing both. I really um you know I just like doing both. You've seen SoFi packed out for Tuesday game. I don't want to hear no more about the no fans. You are right. Anytime you talk about comic book movies, I'm totally lost. I turn you off, then turn you back on. Sorry. I mean, that's fine. If it doesn't interest you, I'm not against that. I get a little annoyed when I have people that have been following me. Like, I've been putting out Rams content like crazy. And then I have people that like unsubscribe or will like unfollow me on Twitter because I talk about the MCU a little too much. I'm like, come on. Like out of my 600 plus videos I've put out, I want to say at least 500 or more are just Rams related. I'd probably say 530 out of 600 are Rams centric videos. Like if you're gonna unfollow or unsubscribe because I want to post what I want, like that's kind of weird. I don't know. It's annoying, but yeah, I got a game again. Probably soon when life gets a little bit more under wraps. You know, way too late. Way too late. I agree. It was like a cool idea, but there was nothing we could really connect to, and I feel like the best character they made, they killed off pretty early on, or they killed off at the end. Like, I don't know. They made him bad. I don't know. I felt like Icarus was the best character, but what's up, Julio? Yeah, I am live. Awesome. Fellow New York fan. New York Rams fan. In your opinion, did Matt Stafford secure a spot in the Hall of Fame? Might be a little early for that. I think he's definitely going to be a Hall of Famer. Like, if he retired today, I don't know if he would be. He's got like 2 more years, I think, to just, to put himself in the Hall of Fame. He wins another Super Bowl. He's absolutely in the Hall of Fame. I'd put him in. I'm just saying, based on other sports writers, I think that they're going to hold it against him, like, Detroit. So I think he'd need another Super Bowl or like 2 more really, really good seasons, I think. Elmer's glue muncher, man. You are on another level. That is hilarious. Oh my god. Nothing. Nothing yet. No. Rams want OBJ back, and that's pretty much it. Yes, no, I'm with you on that. I kind of felt like that's what you were talking about, but I just wanted to clarify. Yeah, Civil War wasn't done super comic accurate. No, I think Chris Paul I think is going to he's going to stay with the Suns. Yeah, it is. I think there's pressure because you spend this much time coming out with a Fantastic Four film. You go through a new director, like all this. I think it's got to be very good because it honestly looks like they're banking the entire end of Phase 4, early Phase 5 on Fantastic Four. I don't think they are, but that's how it kind of comes off. So I don't know. I think that they have some definite pressure. I think it's either going to be Bryce Dallas Howard or it's going to be John Krasinski as the director, though. That's kind of like the vibe I'm getting. Now, what I'll say is I kind of disagree with you, Dr. Dingus, because here's why. I think, well, you said almost every Fantastic Four movie is being bad. I think the first Fantastic Four movie was good, and I love the Silver Surfer movie. The most recent Fantastic Four movie was so bad, like, I mean, it like makes me angry that someone was sitting in their office and said, we should make Doctor Doom a metamorphic rock and have green goo coming out of it. And we should make this dialogue that is so bad that it even makes Michael B. Jordan look like a bad actor. And then they were like, they signed off on it. They put it in theaters. It did nothing. And now they're like, oh, well, we were surprised. We put a lot of work into that movie. Come on. That's the one movie. Like, honestly, I could even watch Incredible Hulk again. I could with Ed Norton because Ed Norton's a great actor. I could watch Incredible Hulk again and be okay. I will never watch the new Fantastic Four movie ever again. That movie is the worst comic book film. I'm trying to think. Yeah, I mean, it's probably the worst comic book film. It's either that or it's New Mutants. I mean, New Mutants was bad. But, yeah. I am a Star Wars fan. Anakin was my favorite character from the prequels, and I love Hayden Christensen as Anakin / Vader. So I'm very excited to see him returning. I'm curious now. I mean, I'm assuming they'll keep him like bald, right? Like how he was with Vader. Like we won't see it's not gonna really look like Anakin. Like. It's Hayden Christensen returning, but, like, are we really ever going to see his face? Or is it going to be CGI'd? See what I'm saying? Like, that's my one thing. At the end of episode 3, it was pretty apparent he didn't look like Anakin anymore. So, I don't know. But I'm excited that he's back. I'm excited for him. And the Kenobi show has a chance to be really good. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm hoping we get some Cal Kestis reference from the what is it? Fallen Order video game. I've been waiting for that. Do you miss Gary Sanchez? I don't. Even though Higashioka and Trevino don't hit that much consistently, they call great games and all balls they block would have gotten past Sanchez. I'm with you. And I mean, that's rare for me, Joe, because when I look at like players, I want them to hit for average more often than not. Like, that's why Gallo pissed me off. You don't even hit 200. But the thing with Gallo is he's not even hitting that many home runs. He's a slugger, and he's not batting 200. Like, Trevino and Higashioka, I have to imagine Higashioka, something's going to hit for him because he was clicking in spring training. So I got to imagine something like that will happen, but I don't know, man. I agree with you. I wanted Gary Sanchez to work out, but I had this realization when they made that trade. I said it right then and there, and we talked about it. I said IKF and Donaldson was the right move for the Yankees. Everyone was bitching and complaining that the Yankees didn't go out and get Trevor Story. Dude's batting. He has 1 home run, and he literally is batting below 200, and he's on the Red Sox. Okay? That dude had 1 good year in Colorado with the elevation and everything that clearly helps the ball go over the freaking wall. So the thing that bothers me is that like when Yankees fans were like, oh, well, this season's a bust because we didn't get George Springer or Trevor Story or what's his face, the Carlos Correa. I mean, like, congrats, okay? Like, the Yankees didn't go out and just spend their money like crazy. What did I just say with Trevor Story? I said the dude's batting below 200, okay? Carlos Correa has a .5 WAR. Like, it's not like he's dominating either. He's hitting 255. He's got 2 home runs. He's not exactly killing it either. And then let's look at the other one. I think George Springer's probably doing better, but I mean, these guys, like, the Yankees didn't need these guys. Springer's been 268. He's got 7 homers. Okay, like, big whoop. I think at the end of the day, the Yankees did the right thing. They didn't go and just buy players left and right. Yes, there was talk, like, should they go after Freddie Freeman? I thought they should have. I'm glad they didn't. I like Rizzo. I like what they're doing there. I obviously love LeMahieu. The Yankees have a lineup that you don't initially think is a superstar lineup until you realize how good a lot of these guys are. I mean, and what's really not talked about anywhere near enough is that he had a really bad start to the season. And because of that, when you think about that, early on in the season, the batting average is going to, really suffer because of it. But now Gleyber Torres has he's hit 5 home runs. He's batting 250. He was like batting like below 100 at one point. He has really turned it on though. Like he has been getting on base. He's been big in clutch, moments. This is somebody, let's not forget, he had 38 home runs in 2019. In his rookie year, he had 24 home runs. He was an all-star in both of those seasons. Torres is not talked about anywhere near enough because everyone just kind of wanted to write him off. But that is why the Yankees didn't go out and do that. And another thing, Torres has defensive runs saved. He is tied for first in the league in defensive runs saved. And guess who's in the top 3 in defensive runs saved? Guess. It is none other than Josh Donaldson. So Donaldson's bat's going to start coming together. It already has. And he's helping in the field. He's been magnificent at third. I understand, people like Urshela. I get that. I like Urshela. But this trade that the Yankees made was perfect. And now Aaron Judge, who I've been saying is a superstar, and people want to keep acting like, he's good. But if he was, he's not like Acuna. He's not Freddie Freeman. He's not Mike Trout. He's not Ohtani. I'm like, fine, okay. Like, whatever you say, all I know is that Aaron Judge, when he's fully healthy, is one of the best hitters in baseball. He just hit his 14th home run tonight, so he's leading the league in home runs. He's batting .313. Like, this Yankee team did not make crazy moves. And a big thing that they didn't do, they didn't go after any pitching. People were, like, completely pissed off that the Yankees didn't go after pitching, and they didn't trade or they didn't sign, a guy like Correa or Springer or Trevor Story. But the Red Sox signed Trevor Story, and look where I think they're in last place in the division right now. Okay? Springer, like, he's a solid player, but they didn't need him, I mean, like, I'm not the biggest fan of what the Yankees do, but this is one of those things where the Yankees still have their top prospects, like Joe just pointed out here. They still have their top prospects, okay? They haven't really traded much. They traded they traded that one guy, something Park, I believe. And they trade him. They got this guy who at the time I was like, why are you trading for this guy who's a 5 ERA? The Yankees pro scouts, you cannot sleep on them. They traded and they got this guy named Clay Holmes, and he is unstoppable. And he'll probably be the next closer the more Aroldis Chapman continues to struggle. They continue to get these guys. They get Clay Holmes. They get Wandy Peralta. It's actually really impressive. Like Lucas Litke or whatever, Litke. They've done such a nice job. Their bullpen is unstoppable. They have a really good starting rotation. Herman is hurt. They still have Deivi Garcia in AAA, who has shown you potential that he could do something if he really, over time. I mean, he's still young. That's the thing. Like, their rotation right now, they have Garrett Cole. They have Cortez. They have Severino. I mean, Zach Britton, like you just mentioned, Tronco, Zach Britton's hurt. Like, this team still has guys that they could bring in that can help them. And I think when you look at all the talent that they have, it's very hard to critique them, not going after a guy like Trevor Story. I mean, I don't know. Sometimes Yankee fans are just kind of out there, but you know, that's wishful thinking on your part. The Yankees are not going to crumble because the Yankees don't have a team that would crumble. Last year was pretty much as, I don't want to say as you know, bad case scenario as it gets, but it was pretty bad and they won 92 games and went to a play-in game. You know what I mean? They were basically in the playoffs. So the Yankees crumbling isn't a thing. Like they don't crumble. When the Yankees disappoint, they lose in the ALDS, you know, they lose in the wild card. They don't crumble. They don't like miss the playoffs. And there's never been a team that has won 25 games the first 34 games of the season that hasn't won the World Series. And the Yankees are the only team this year that did that. So keep that in mind. That was a little bit of a Yankee spiel, but you know, I feel like that was overdue. Thank you, Tronco, for getting that thing started. There was an idea the Rams should draft a running back every year because they're always injured. There's like this theory that you should always draft a wide receiver every year because wide receivers are so expensive to bring back that if you continue to revolve them around, it kind of works out. If you can develop receivers like the Rams do, like obviously the Steelers do. Steelers do it very well. I mean, you talk about Plaxico Burress, Mike Wallace, Antonio Brown, Juju Smith-Schuster, Chase Claypool, Deontay Johnson. I mean, all of those guys, Hines Ward, they've done a really nice job developing wide receivers, homegrown, and then having them blow up and letting them go get paid, and then bring in another guy. It's a revolving door. So I think that there's more to drafting a receiver every year than running back. There's so many running backs in the league you can find. I mean, if you think about it, I like the trade. I'm sure you all like the trade of Sony Michel, but the Rams didn't really need to trade for Sony Michel. They probably would have been fine picking a guy off of waivers or whatever. I mean, like there are plenty of running back talent. There's plenty of running back talent out there. They just don't get the opportunity that you would want as a running back. Yep, absolutely. Oh, as Miles Teller? Yeah, I wasn't a big fan of that. I like Miles Teller. I just don't think that worked. And I actually, not that I don't think, it just didn't work. The dialogue was bad. I haven't heard anything about Tyler Higbee. The tight end position's pretty stacked. You got Higbee, you got Blanton, you got Bryson Hopkins. You know, Harris will probably be listed as a tight end, but, you know, he's basically a wide receiver. Good question. From what I heard is that it's going to be M'Baku because the guy that plays M'Baku, I forget his name. Someone can help me out in the comment section if they want. I'm probably gonna Google it though. Or I'm not gonna Google it because I don't know how to spell. Anyway, uh, okay, don't show me who plays M'Baku. That's sick, bro. Appreciate that. Winston Duke. There we go. Yeah, I think I've asked that before on the show. Winston Duke got like a raise or something. Like he's getting a big raise, I believe, is what I was told. And so that kind of signals that he's going to get a bigger role. If you're getting a bigger role, that's probably going to mean that I'm not necessarily, but you could end up being Black Panther. Winston Duke is a hell of an actor, so he deserves it. Silver Surfer is the only good thing for that franchise. I don't know, Nolan. I like the franchise. It was campy, but I thought it worked, and I really like Johnny Storm, played by Chris Evans. I thought he did a fantastic job of being a pain in Ben Grimm's ass. I definitely liked his role there, but I know there's some disappointments and misses in the MCU. But do you think they've had a fumble as bad as Snyder's Doomsday take? No. Nope. Nope. No, I don't. I definitely do not. I think the biggest fumble the MCU has ever had is probably Eternals, and that tells you all you need to know. Because that is not really that big of a fumble. I don't think that they really fail. I think that they, might underachieve at times, but for the most part, they're one of the most consistent, brands out there. You pretty much know what you're getting. At the end of Spider-Man No Way Home, you see Nick Fury in space helping build Sword. Do you think Nick Fury's sword introduces Sentinels, and that's how X-Men get introduced as well? That is very intriguing. I'm going to actually pitch something to you guys, okay? I thought about this today. Actually, I've thought about this for a little bit, and then I brought it up today to my friend Tyler. But I'm curious what you guys think, okay? To answer your question, Dingus, I actually do believe in what you're saying with the Sentinels. I think that's kind of where we're going with that, but I guess we'll find out. But sticking to the Nick Fury thing, I'm going to tell you right now, okay? I don't think Nick Fury was snapped. I don't think Nick Fury was snapped. Remember when he's like, oh, you know, he gets snapped by Thanos? I don't think he got snapped. I think it was Talos. I think Nick Fury had been off-world for a while. I think he'd been at that. I think he'd been at the Sword Agency for a while. What do you guys think? I think Talos was snapped. I don't think Nick Fury was snapped. But I agree, Nolan, but I think what I'm saying is I don't think he was, when they showed him, he was paging Captain Marvel. I don't think that was actually him. I don't think he was snapped. I think he was already off-world. I'm just saying. Because why? Explain this to me. If he got snapped, then why? How is Talos all of a sudden Nick Fury? Far From Home comes after, like right after Infinity War. Not Infinity War, Endgame. So explain to me how he's already in space. Cool. Okay. That I was hoping you would be. I figured you would, but I don't think Nick Fury was snapped. I think it was Talos, and I think here's the thing. Hear me out when I say this. The Skrull, for the most part, are bad. That brings us to Secret Invasion, not to be confused with Secret Wars. Secret Invasion is about the Skrulls taking over Earth, okay? And the way I see it is that in Secret Invasion, for this to happen, since we're getting a Secret Invasion show, like that's confirmed, it's already coming out. Taron Killam told us that his wife, Kobe Smulders, who plays Maria Hill, had already like filmed it and all that when he came on our show. So, you know, that's already been done. My thought, though, is like Talos is good. Like Talos isn't a bad Skrull, and some of the Skrulls are not bad, but there are bad ones. And what I'm thinking is Talos being snapped during that 5-year period, he was kind of the safeguard. Like he was the good Skrull, and I feel like he was kind of the gatekeeper, if you will. Like he would have been able to stop a Skrull invasion, because you know it's just like he like coexisted with the humans. But my thing is, if Talos was snapped, to me, and maybe I'm wrong, anybody can tell me like, oh, I'm just missing it. Like, you know, that's totally fine. But if Talos is snapped, and so is his wife or, you know, whoever who plays Maria Hill, because I don't believe I think she's also at Sword. But anyway, if they're both snapped during that 5-year period, then I think that is when the Secret Invasion happened. I think it's already happened. I think the Secret Invasion has already happened. I don't think the Secret Invasion show is going to show it happening, you know, over time. I think the show is about it already happened and now they have to try and stop, you know, them from doing further damage to the world, essentially. So that's what I think. I think that's how it happened. I think that's why we have Secret Invasion. I think that's how they're going to do it. But I think they kind of been hinting at this for a little bit, but I was thinking about it, I was like, you know what? It was a really nice fake out to have the whole Nick Fury thing with the Captain Marvel. And I've literally heard people say, well, there's no way that he got snapped because Talos would not have known. Like, if he was the one getting snapped, Talos wouldn't have known to call Captain Marvel because, as they show you, Nick Fury has the connection, not Talos. I'm like, that's not true. Talos is literally in the Captain Marvel movie. It shows you why that they're connected. It shows you the connection that they built. Like, it's so irritating. Like, it's so obvious, and it's just, it's right there. So that's kind of my thought process, is that I think Talos was snapped, and I think because of it, it opened the floodgates for all sorts of Skrull to take over the Earth. And I think that's exactly why there is a Secret Invasion show, and it's going to basically cover that. It's also going to it's going to vibe a little bit, I think, with the Falcon Winter Soldier arc that they were building. I also think it's going to slide a little bit into Armor Wars with Rhodey, because he's getting his own show. I think it's going to have those three kind of collide. It's going to be the on down to earth world type of storyline. It's not going to be multiversal or anything like that, but I think it's the right way to do it. Now, I know, Nolan, you asked me like if I thought Phase 4 was getting disconnected. And I think it is disconnecting a little bit from some of the stuff, because think about it. You can't have everything go cosmic, because like Spider-Man, like people are like, why is this person not in, this movie? And I'm like, well, if he was in this movie, like he'd get obliterated. You know what I mean? Like, that's the thing, is that you have your Spider-Man and you have your Captain America and those guys, and they are powerful in their own realm. But like if you're putting them in like space and stuff, that's not going to work out the way you think, so you got to be careful with that. So for the most part, you have to have multiple battlegrounds. You have to have multiple ways, multiple settings, because I mean, you could always be like, wow, really? Like during that sequence, Spider-Man didn't show up. Like he wasn't in Hawkeye. Yeah. I mean, maybe Spider-Man was on the other side of town. I mean, you can't just assume these guys are always going to be in the same locations just because they're connected, so I don't know. Just a thought, but yeah, I definitely think Nick Fury was never snapped. I think he was in space on the shield, or I keep calling it shield, on the sword base, and I think it was Talos and his wife that were snapped. So they came back, obviously, and they're all good, but I think that's what led to the Secret Invasion, because they couldn't stop it because they were blipped for 5 years. So, yeah. Will the New York Giants be better this year? They might pull the plug on Daniel Jones this year if he does not produce. I think they will. I think the Giants are going to be better this year. I don't know how much better, but I wouldn't be surprised if they steal the division. I really do like Dable. I like the direction they're going in. It's more of a wait-and-see approach with them. Yeah, I mean, I like Darth Vader. My favorites in order. So the prequels, Anakin, right? I have that Anakin is my favorite. Anakin, not Darth Vader. I liked Anakin Skywalker as my favorite character in the prequel trilogy. And then the, I don't know what they call it, the old trilogy or the original. The original, I'd probably say, or they call it the sequel. I don't know. 4, 5, and 6. My favorite's Han Solo. That's my favorite character in 4, 5, and 6. And then 7, 8, and 9 is Kylo Ren. So those are my 3 favorite characters, one from each trilogy, but I don't know, Adam Driver as Kylo Ren was very likable to me. Like I even liked him, as a villain, and when he became good at the end, I liked him even more, but and I agree with you, by the way, Julio. First off, Hayden Christensen had a horrible dialogue given to him. Like, I mean, that was not a good script. And as much as of a legend as George Lucas is, like, the dialogue just wasn't there, So, what's up, Michael? How we doing? Let's see. Big Perk. No, I don't want Nick Foles anywhere near the Rams. I don't like Nick Foles. So, no, I like the quarterbacks the way they are. And if they go out and get Kyle Sloter, I'm all for that. But I would not want Nick Foles, unfortunately, now. Looking for QB3, Bryce Perkins to beat out Wolford. I would not be surprised if he did. I'll say that right now. They'd have to give him a chance, but I don't know. I mean, I think it's a big deal. When it came out, I know it was kind of like, almost tongue in cheek, like, well, wonder what this can mean. But I always suspected, Marvel's not going to come out with a project that doesn't connect unless it's like entirely made for kids, which is like the Groot the Groot TV show or whatever, short or whatever that's coming out. I Am Groot. That is just for kids. You put it on, you let your kids watch it, you know. Yeah, that's what that's for. It's probably not going to connect to anything. It probably has no substance whatsoever. Maybe it does. Who knows? But it's the same thing like the Droid show that's coming out. Like, that's for kids. Keep in mind, it's on a Disney platform. But what if, when they dropped that, I was like, that I guarantee you is going to connect to the multiverse. And sure enough, it did. It wasn't just a hypothetical anthology. They actually connect. We didn't know, but each story was connecting the whole time. I suspected, but we didn't know until we saw it. And they played it off like it was an anthology of, what if this happened? What if this happened? Yes, but the watcher starts to get closer and closer and closer. Every single episode, he gets closer to the action, and you start to actually see him for what he is in the show. So that is the thing, is like each story he's telling, he's getting close to the action, things are starting to unravel, and then you get to the grand conclusion. But Season 2, from what I saw and heard, is going to be very much about Phase 4. This was basically Phase 3. They wanted to make it about Phase 4, but because of all of the different issues with COVID, they weren't able to do that. So they focused more on Phase 3. They got behind the 8 ball. I still think it was great. I had no issues with them being behind or whatever. Thank you for subscribing. I appreciate that. But they eventually they just made it. It was just going to be Phase 3. Phase 4 will be the next one, and I think it's going to come out probably around the holiday season. I'm hoping it's earlier. I think What If is a fantastic project. It's hard to put them on the top because they have such great live action shows, but man, I love What If so much. I just love the concept of it, and I just saw, I read something, and I know this has been a rumor for a while, but I read something that Captain Carter, a project of Captain Carter from What If, is in development, a live action one. They're also going to have Marvel Zombies that's in production right now. So that is something. It's also coming from the What If arc. So that's going to be very interesting, but I really like it. I really do. So I think people forget Josh Donaldson is a former American League MVP and won Comeback Player of the Year in 2019. Yeah, for real. No, they didn't. They didn't, but, most Yankee fans are bye. It's like, God, just let players develop. Like, I'm so tired. Every single year at the trade deadline, the Yankees could win every single game, and at the trade deadline, they're like, trade Volpe, trade Austin Wells, trade this superstar, trade Jason Dominguez, trade Everson Pereira, trade all of the top prospects, trade them all, because I want Jose Quintana, who has an ERA over 4. Why? Like, why? The trade deadline in baseball is like the biggest scam ever. It allows these teams to trade away these like 35-year-old pitchers and get top prospects for them because the top teams in the league are dumb. They get so desperate, they're like, we need an arm. And then all of a sudden, they're trading the top prospect for freaking Robbie Ray. Like, really? I mean, the White Sox? Yeah, you ever watch Eloy Jimenez? You ever watch him? Yeah, you know where he came from? The Cubs. The Cubs traded him away for Jose Quintana. Like, that's really what the trade deadline is full of that. Full of hogwash and nonsense. It's the biggest scam in baseball because these stupid teams will like, we need a bat. We need a right-handed bat. We need a left-handed bat. We need a pitching arm in the bullpen. And then they give up top prospects for a guy that has an ERA over 4 so he can close games. And then you're like, why? Like, I mean, I don't know. I've seen the dumbest trades in the past, and I think that Quintana trade was absolutely stupid. Yep, Dylan Cease as well. Yeah. That deal sucked. I mean, it was great for the White Sox. They were geniuses for that. They're like, all right, take Quintana, go, go enjoy him. I don't know. It's so stupid. It really is. It's so stupid. I complain about it every year. I mean, the Yankees trade for Joey Gallo was. I don't know how bad. Like, I don't know if they really traded much, but At the time, I thought it was really stupid. I don't know if these guys have turned into anything yet. They traded. Oh, okay. They explored trading outfielder Joey Gallo to the Padres earlier this spring. I did not know that. That's interesting. I was not looking for that, but I found something else. All right, that's cool. Good to know that they're exploring trading him. Okay. So they traded Gallo. They traded for Gallo. They traded as Ezekiel Duran, who I don't think he's played in the majors yet. He's 22. So, they traded a 22-year-old. Played in 67 games in Class A, advanced. Hudson Valley? Interesting. Bad 290, 12 homers. Hoover, which was the second-round pick out of Arizona State in 2020. They traded a second-rounder out of LSU in 2019. And they traded a fifth-round pick out of Rice in 2017. The prospects were pretty good that they traded away for Joey Gallo. I don't know if they'll end up being great, but, I don't know if... I just don't think Joey Gallo was worth it. But, that's my point, is that the Yankees felt they needed to get a left-handed bat, so they traded 4 prospects for him. All right. Like I said, biggest scam in baseball is the trade deadline. These guys, their value goes through the roof, and you're like, this guy's not going to the Hall of Fame. Why are we trading top prospects for him? But no one says that because everyone's in the heat of the moment like, we got to make a move or we're not going to make the playoffs. Whatever, bro. Yeah, I saw that. I didn't think so. I really feel like the Yankees are saving up the money so they can pay Judge. That's what I think. I don't think, because I understand there's no salary cap, but the Yankees are really trying to avoid the luxury tax. So Judge is with the Yankees. He just didn't sign a contract, so he will be a free agent after the year if they don't fix that. Yeah, Freddie's good. What's up, Dylan? Hit stick the like button. Yes, I'll try to do this in the easiest way possible. So, contracts essentially, when you have a lot of guaranteed money, for instance, there's things like signing bonuses and things like that, incentive deals and all that. The dead money is money that has already been paid to. Okay? So, you've already guaranteed that this guy, the guaranteed money, if you cut a guy, right, and you guarantee him $20 million out of his $40 million contract, you're going to have $20 million in dead money because you have to pay him that money. That's why Todd Gurley and Clay Matthews wanted their money. That's what they were talking about. They're owed that money because they have broken, the contract is gone, but they have to, as a last measure of the contract, have to honor that portion. The way contracts affect the salary cap in the NFL, it's kind of confusing because you have your average annual salary, which is what they make per year. So if a guy is, say, 5 years, $20 million, he's making $4 million per year. Same if he makes, 4 years, he makes $5 million per year. You get it. So anyway, that per year is not necessarily going to be each year because some teams like to do each year. Some teams like to backload it where they have, it's really in the first few years, the deal is $2 million a year, and then down the road they give them $8 million, right? It's when they have more cap space. It's a strategic way to do it, but then they also front load it. So if you have a lot of cap space in 2022 and 2023, but then 2024 and 2025, you're not going to based on some extensions coming in, you might front load those deals. That way you have some more money at the back end because now you're paying them more up front, but then the back end of that contract, you're not paying them, $8 million, or paying them instead $4 million. You see my point? So, there's a lot of different things that go towards salary cap in the NFL, but really all it's about is it's the guaranteed money. It's, how much, they're getting paid per year, not just doing the math and like, okay, that's average annual, like knowing how much they're going to get paid in year 1, year 2, year 3, year 4. So there's a lot to it. I could probably go into more details, but I don't want to confuse you, Jack. I hope that kind of makes some sense, though. You have to stay under a hard cap. There's no such thing as a soft cap. It's only a hard cap in the NFL. You have to stay under it. You know, that's everyone has a cap value, and that's the way that works. Oh, are you kidding me? That's awful. I didn't know that. I hope Tariq's okay. I mean, obviously he's not because he tore his ACL and MCL. That's awful. That is awful, man. Yeah, I agree. Um, what is your routine horror movie you watch on or around Halloween? Is there an underrated horror movie you recommend for people to watch? This is a great question. Typically, I'm gonna go with Halloween, the Rob Zombie remake, and 78. So Halloween 78, I think, is my go-to around Halloween. I also like Hellraiser, the first one. Um, it, both chapter 1 and chapter 2. Uh, Scream, the original Scream, I like. Sinister, both 1 and 2. Those would probably be my routine horror movies. Oh, also, it's not really, I don't know how much of a horror movie it is, but Happy Death Day. I think it's one of the most underrated horror thriller films out there. It's modern too. I definitely recommend checking it out. Um, but an underrated horror movie, I guess I just answered it, Happy Death Day. If you've never seen it, it takes, so Happy Death Day is like, if you've ever seen Groundhog Day, you know, the idea, like, you know, carpe diem, you know, and like you die, you come back to life, you die again. It's over and over and over again, you know. Um, like that's basically what Groundhog Day was. The guy kept dying, and like every time he woke up, it was like, you know, it was the next day. Like it didn't matter. So, you know, basically, like, and here's the thing: he would wake up, like he'd go to bed, and then he'd wake up, and it'd be the next day. So he didn't necessarily die. Like there were times where he tried to kill himself to get out of this loop, but he was always on this loop. And then, you know, Happy Death Day is about this girl named Tree who always dies in different ways. Like she's murdered, and she continues to live in this like loop, and she tries to figure out what the loop is and how to break it and what's killing her. And, you know, she has moments where she's like, oh yeah, like she goes to bed and like she wakes up the next day and it's the same. And she's like, what is happening? Like I didn't die. Like how did that happen? And you have to watch it. The first one's really good. The second one is interesting. That is fantastic news. I love Happy Death Day. So Happy Death Day 3 is probably going to be pretty awesome. It's great, you know, actress who's playing the lead role, but underrated, I would say. I would say Sinister. Like if you want something that I don't feel like Sinister is that big, but the first Sinister movie with Ethan Hawke, like Sinister is like really like messed up. Like it is horrifying. Like it like, you know, you sit there and you're like, yeah, I mean that is really underrated. I'm trying to think of some underrated horror films. I mean, yeah, I'd probably go with those. I'd say It Follows, because It Follows is just insane. Like, you think about the concept of It Follows, that's horrifying. Yeah, I would probably go with those three. Well, and I'd also say Us. If you've never seen Us, it's nuts. Like, Jordan Peele, Nope is kind of weird. Like, I don't know if I'm going to like it. It just seems like it's a big risk to take. Jordan Peele can obviously do that, but this horror movie that's coming out, Nope, is it's a big risk. And I'll tell you right now, Us was super risky, but it was super original, and I loved it. And I would totally watch that again. And I will say this, the soundtrack for Us is just like bone chilling. They did some weird thing with the strings. Like, I think it's like reverse playing them or something, or playing it back. And it is like skin crawling. It is horrifying. And then I think on Amazon, um, yes, he was. You're absolutely right. Winston Duke. He was great in that. But the there was a show about not I don't know if it's Us, but it has the same font. Them. Have you guys seen that show on Amazon? I think it's kind of like the same premise. I'm gonna check if they're connected. Us was a horror film built on the beauty of unraveling plot mysteries, although it has some supernatural infusion. Them is tethered to a much more grounded story. You know right off the bat what you're getting, and there's little to no real unraveling of mystery the same way there is with Us. Um I don't know. Okay, so Us is connected to Get Out, but I don't know if it's connected to I don't know if it's connected to Them, the Amazon series. It's a terror anthology um that deals with terror in America. Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, that stuff creeps me out. I don't know. I don't know what he's doing in space. He is in space. I don't know why he's in space. I don't think they really ever explained it. Amelia Clark and Secret War also. Yeah, I'm very happy Amelia Clark is gonna be in Secret Invasion. Um, let's see. In Loki, there was a Skrull in a tracksuit, and the theory is the Skrulls were a part of the tracksuit mafia in Hawkeye. In the comics, Hawkeye and Black Widow discover Skrulls on Earth first. That's really interesting. Huh. You think that the tracksuit mafia, that is interesting. I didn't think about that. I don't see him aside from special teams, I don't see Jake Funk having much of a role in the backfield. I kind of see that. That's that's really cool. I am interested in that. I hope we get John Watts for Spider-Man 4 though. I will say that. Oh yeah, that yeah. I've never liked. I just don't like Nick Foles. I'd like to see. I mean, it kind of sucks, right? Because Mando season 3, it looked like they were building up all that stuff, and I think it's been rewritten a bunch of times. I know that because Gina Carano, before that whole thing happened, she was supposed to have like a huge role. Like she was supposed to have her own show. Was it Rangers of the New Republic or whatever, something like that. But yeah, they had to rewrite a bunch of stuff, so I don't know. I want to see Ahsoka in it. I like to see some expansion on that end. I don't know. At this point, I'm way more knowledgeable about the Marvel lore than I am the Star Wars lore. So, I mean, you'd probably have to ask my brother about that one, but I'm just ready to see season 3. Like I don't mean to sound like a hater, but like Boba Fett, I don't know. Did they really need Boba Fett? Like, did they really need that show? Maybe. I don't know. It seemed like something that was kind of there for like fan service and like, oh, we finally get a Boba Fett project. I'm like, all right, I wanted Kenobi more, and Boba Fett came out before Kenobi. That's kind of weird, but yeah. Yes, it did. It did. What If was slept on, 100%. Thank you, Ramelia. Appreciate that. I'm also jealous. I'd love to be in Disneyland right now, even though it's 1:26 a.m. But yeah, yeah, I'm looking forward to it though. I really like Haley Atwell. I think she's great. Nope, nothing on that front. Great question, Jack. So it would be less of a cap hit. Well, overall cap hit would be the 20 million guaranteed. That would be more. But if you're talking year to year, like I'm assuming that that's 10 million each year. So with 10 million guaranteed, that would be less cap hit. Guaranteed more money would probably have a lot to do with that. Same here. Oh yeah, Beagle's horrifying. Love Beagle. I gotta say, I really like the Purge films. I know they're not really horror except for the first one. The first one was a horror movie. Let's call it like it is. It was like a horror movie. It was in one location the entire time, which was so bizarre because you literally took a freaking concept that was global and you turned it into something that was going to be in one home. And you saw the potential, and I think that was on purpose, but it was just so weird to do that. Oh, you don't like the intensity? I love the intensity. VHS is weird, man. VHS is weird. What's that one? Is it documentary 81 or something tapes 81? Something 81. Um this guy is doing like this archive 81. There we go. He's doing like this archiving of like these old like I don't even know, like audio clips and it looks nuts. I think it's a TV series on Netflix. I'm actually watching a new show on Netflix. I finished Queen's Gambit. That thing is such a baller show. I couldn't believe how much I love this show about chess. I don't know if anyone's seen Queen's Gambit. I'm sure some of you recommended it. There's a player that we interviewed that recommended it. I can't remember his name. But Queen's Gambit, man, was so good. I couldn't believe how much I liked it. There's not going to be a second one, which is kind of a bummer. But um, I think the ending was somewhat interesting. But I thought it was just so fun and Anya Taylor Joy was so good, and um, it was just a really good show. But now I'm on to the one with what's her name? I forget her name. But I'm on Russian Doll. I'm watching, and it's the same freaking concept of Happy Death Day. It's a TV show like that, and it's got Natasha Lyonne. That's her name. Natasha Lyonne. It's got that one girl who is in the morning show. It's got Salinger, Gregory Salinger, the guy that plays Gregory Salinger in Jessica Jones season 3. So it's got a decent cast, but it's co-written by Amy Poehler and Natasha Lyonne, and like I can't tell what the vibe is. I know they're going with humor, and they're going with like it's kind of warped and messed up how she keeps like dying, but I don't know, like it's entertaining. I definitely recommend checking out Russian Doll if you haven't already. I'm on like episode 4, and it's a 30-minute watch. It's fun. I like those. Except for maybe I think Barry, the show I'm watching, it's on season 3. I think you could argue Barry doesn't need to be episodic. I don't need to watch it weekly. I feel like I should be able to bang that out. If the show is 30 minutes each episode, I don't think they should release it weekly. I think they should allow you to bang it out. So that's kind of my thing with that. Anyway, Chocolate or vanilla? I'm going to go with vanilla. For ice cream? I'm assuming. Vanilla ice cream, chocolate, everything else. Skittles or Twix? That's kind of weird. I guess it depends when I'm deciding. There's sometimes I'm in the mood for sour, sometimes I'm in the mood for sweet. I guess I'll go with Twix. Orange juice. Man, I like them both. Apple cider is better than apple juice. Apple cider is better than orange juice. Oranges are more of a pain to pull together. But assuming I have orange slices already prepared for me and apple slices, I'm going to say oranges. If I don't have it prepared for me, I'll go with the apple, period. I don't like those type of movies. Bloody movies, I don't like either. I get that. I like gore because I do think it adds to, the element of horror, but I like it done the right way. I don't like those kind of trashy movies like my Bloody Valentine 3D with the CGI blood is just annoying. I don't like CGI blood. Like, I understand there are moments, like in Logan, for instance, you can't have a guy actually stabbing a guy right through the freaking face with claws, adamantium claws, without showing CGI blood. But, there's just too much usage of it in horror films that don't need it. And I just kind of, I don't know. I like the practical effects. Anyone that knows me with the horror films, I love practical gore, and that's the only thing that I like. Too much CGI, it looks really weird. Smash the like button, yes, please. Thank you, Substance. I think Mando and Ahsoka are going to be in the Obi-Wan series. I saw something with them all together earlier. That would be nuts. I am for that, but that would be nuts. Also, I believe Taika Waititi's Star Wars film is up next, although we don't know what it's about. That guy does not miss. He's the man. Agree. I know Kevin Feige's Star Wars thing with Michael Waldron is going to be in play too, so I'm excited for that. He's been working on that as well. OBJ wants to stay a Ram. I hope that trumps any contract offer. Yeah, same here. I agree with you there. What about Olympus Has Fallen? Gerard Butler, sir, you need to step down. Oh, yeah, that guy was so annoying. Gerard Butler is so fun to watch in action movies. Like, that is his niche for sure. Rookie numbers dropped today. Darian Kendrick Turk's number 6. Looking forward to him, Jalen, and Troy in the secondary with a healthy Fuller. Yeah, I think Jacoby Durant, I think you're going to see more number 14 than number 6. I'm curious what number Troy's going to wear. But don't leave out guys like Rochelle and Long. I think they're going to have roles too. One thing I didn't like about the Star Wars shows so far I feel Boba Fett had the spotlight taken from him in his own show by everyone else, especially Mando. Yeah, and well, that's my thing, and it kind of points to why I had an issue with it in the first place, is that it's like they knew that they made a mistake. Like, the most watched episodes of that series with Boba Fett are the ones where Mando basically takes over as the main character. Doesn't that tell you that, look, we probably should have released Mandalorian Season 3 before Book of Boba Fett? That tells you all you need to know. Mando is more interesting. Baby Yoda Grogu is more interesting. I cared a little bit about Boba Fett, but there were times where there was too much dialogue, not enough action. He was likable, don't get me wrong. I like the actor. I thought he did a great job, but the story wasn't riveting. As a matter of fact, it got a little boring. And then Mando came to the rescue, and all of a sudden you're like, oh, it's Mandalorian time. That was the best part of the entire show. I saw a stat where the most watched episode, the best ratings for an episode, was the episode where you only got 1 minute of Boba Fett in the Book of Boba Fett, and you had, the rest of the show was about Mando. That's all you need to know. Din Djarin literally is the face of... I don't know if I've ever seen a character that was that beloved by, fans. No one dislikes Din Djarin. No one. And the Mandalorian suit is so badass. It's like, come on. I have not started watching Breaking Bad. I will probably do it at some point. I didn't realize that there weren't that many episodes. I get overwhelmed by these shows that have like 30, 40 episodes, and I'm like, wait a minute. Breaking Bad doesn't have that many episodes. And, like, I mean, they're long, but they're not that long, Yeah. Star Wars Theory just does, I mean, it's just nonstop content. I think that dude owns, like, what was it? Someone that came to fix our, I forget the guy, but someone came to fix our, like, internet. And he like knew Star Wars Theory, I think is what he told me. And he said like he's got like a Maserati or whatever or something. Like a Lamborghini, I think it was. Like dude makes so much money on YouTube. It's crazy. Oh yeah. Absolutely. SG, I've been on SG's show multiple times. And anyone that is a Niner fan or Seahawks fan or Patriots or whatever fan, like you're welcome here. I want to make that very clear. You are welcome here. If you choose to watch a channel that is going to mainly talk about the Rams, but also talk about other stuff, that's on you. Like, you are more than welcome to join. Some people don't want to ever hear about the Rams if they hate the Rams. I get that. But, like, I'd never want any of the moderators. I don't think my mods do this, but I don't want any moderators, like, banishing people like that just because they like a different team. Because we're all here to just, have some fun. I'm answering any sort of question, or trying to at least. YouTube kind of makes it a little difficult, but, you know. The Righteous Gemstones. I have never heard of that. So I guess I probably won't bother if it's like that. Facts, Darth Karth. Absolutely. I hate slashers that use CGI. Why are you using CGI? Practical is more expensive. I get it, but the people, you have to understand, like, unless you're a Scream, a Halloween, a Friday the 13th, a Texas Chainsaw Massacre, somebody like that, like a big freaking known IP, you don't have everybody's attention. You're likely making a slasher film for the cult following that loves slasher films, that pay attention to little detail like me. And if you're not going to put in that extra work and spend that extra money for practical gore, we're going to pick up on it. And it's going to be something we bring up. And it's what I do all the time. I just don't like CGI gore should be better. CGI in 2022 is really not that impressive. It hasn't really evolved at the level that you would have expected, and it just looks bad. I don't know. Like, and I'm not talking about all CGI, but like most of like the usual CGI, the CGI gore that they use is pretty much the same like as they used in like My Bloody Valentine. It just looks ridiculous. I have no idea. No idea. But if he does get signed, it'll be later on, I think. Top 5 Rams of all time. Aaron Donald. Merlin Olsen. Deacon Jones. Isaac Bruce and Kurt Warner. I think that's what I would stick with right now. That can definitely change. But how long after? Hold on a sec. How long after is? So Mandalorian is 5 years after the Return of the Jedi, and 9 years after A New Hope. So if it's 9 years after A New Hope, let's see. Okay, 19 years. So yeah, I don't think Mando would be young enough to even be in that. Because episode 3 takes place 19 years after A New Hope. Or prior to A New Hope. A New Hope is not necessarily what Kenobi will be. So, I'm trying to think. If Mando's 9 years after A New Hope, how old is Din Djarin? That's what I want to know. Din Djarin is likely 39, 40 years old. Okay. So he's 30 years old. All right, I see an interesting pathway here. He's 30 years old when Luke Skywalker is still on Tatooine. So if that's the case, and episodes 3 and 4 are 19 years apart, and how long did I say? It's 10 years. Okay, so it's 10 years. Kenobi's after episode 3. So if it's 10 years after episode 3 and Din Djarin is 40 years old, so he'd be 30 years old in 30 years old in A New Hope. So he'd be 21. Or 21 years old. So Din Djarin's like 20, 21 years old in the upcoming Kenobi show. And I'll be honest with you, I think Ahsoka's older? Younger. Yep, so she's 45 years old, Ahsoka, so she would be older. So Ahsoka could be in Kenobi. Yeah. Ahsoka could be in Kenobi. That's really interesting, though. I mean, I don't know if Ahsoka will be in Kenobi, but there's definitely a possibility. Like, she's old enough to be in it. I mean, she knows Kenobi. You run the risk, though, if you bring Ahsoka in that. I think she would kind of overshadow Kenobi, though. Potentially. Oh, Fast and Furious all day, completely. They're trying to be like the MCU and getting like all these actors and actresses to join. Fast and the Furious is just not that great. And what I don't understand is Fast and the Furious, look at the box office. Like, look at how much they've made. They're not as big of a franchise as I thought. Like, they've made $360.4 million. Fast and Furious franchise, I believe. That's all of the movies. So there's no way that's right. That's what it's saying, but there's no way that's right. I'm not saying they did bad. I'm just saying they're not as big as like I thought, I guess. All right, highest grossing film franchises all time at the box office. Updated January 31st, 2021. Okay. So this is obviously going to be crazy, but Marvel Cinematic Universe $22.59 billion, which does top Star Wars in second with $10.2 billion. Wizarding World, aka Harry Potter, that combines Harry Potter and the Fantastic Beasts series at $9.18 billion. Of course, keep in mind this takes place in January of 2021, so this has since changed. Obviously, Marvel added more to their dollars. The Wizarding World of Harry Potter did. Then James Bond, $6.89 billion. Then you have Spider-Man. Just Spider-Man. Spider-Man, $6.35 billion. Actually, almost has more than James Bond. Then you have X-Men, $6.03 billion. And then Fast and Furious, $5.9 billion, which does have more than Middle-earth, which is the Hobbit series and Lord of the Rings. But they have 6 films, and Fast and Furious at this point had 9 films. So, then you have Middle-earth, you have DC Extended Universe, $5.6 billion. You have Jurassic Park, which, by the way, I think Dominion looks crazy, and I think Dominion is going to take their franchise to another level. $4.99 billion. Batman, 10 live action films, $4.9 billion. Transformers, $4.86 billion. And wrapping it up, top 13, Pirates of the Caribbean at $4.52 billion. So, what did we learn from this? Well, we learned that Marvel Cinematic Universe is obviously incredible, and the freaking money is just insane. We learned that Star Wars, obviously, as great as Star Wars is, and it's dominant, Star Wars has been surpassed by the MCU. In case no one knew that, Star Wars took a little bit of a hiatus, and the MCU went crazy. So we knew that. The Wizarding World of Harry Potter. Well, the Fantastic Beasts thing, I think the first one went well. The second one didn't. The third one clearly doesn't look like it went well. Probably a lot of that had to do with Johnny Depp being recast. A lot of people are boycotting it. I thought about doing that. I don't really boycott things, but I was a little annoyed by that. Bond is 4th. Now, this doesn't have No Time to Die, I don't think. So you'd have to imagine they're over 7 billion now. Spider-Man, this is before No Way Home, so you have to imagine they're way over that, what they're at right now. And Fast and Furious, like I said, it's 7th. I'm not saying that's bad, but I like people act like this is the largest grossing movie series of all time, and it's not. I don't know how they have had 10 movies. They're going to have their 10th movie, and it's really a redundant series. And like I said, they're not even competitive with the MCU. It'd be different if they were like, all right, you're doing your 10th movie and you've made $20 billion, but you've made $5.9 billion, and that is a success in a sense, but I mean, just think about how much you're paying these actors. Like, what are you really breaking at the end of the day? You've made 10 films? I don't know. It's just... Oh, he might be. He might be. I mean, most influential drummer of all time, I would say. I think he probably is. Ahsoka would make sense, but timeline-wise, I don't think Mando is established yet, or he would be very young-ish. Still, he's a child during the Clone Wars, and Mando takes place after... It's true. Apparently, Obi-Wan show is going to be a bait and switch, and the third sister will have a main character role in the show. Really? I don't like that at all. Oh, God. I don't like the bait and switch. Breaking Bad is also addicting. You'll love it, Jake. Easy watch. Leaves you wanting more. I'm thinking that. Yeah, it's true. I love Falk. He's honorable mention for sure. Fast 10, your seatbelts. Oh, Lord. It's so bad. I hate that series. I could not get into it. My dad always said the worst part about action movies are the car chases. And I thought, like, as a little kid, I was like, really? I think the car chases are really cool. And then I got older and I realized, yeah, he's right. The car chases is a bunch of shaky cam and it's just prolonged BS. They work sometimes, but they don't work every time. I don't know. And that's pretty much all Fast and Furious is, and I'm sure they're going to take it to space soon, so I don't know. They're annoying. Lols. Olsen, Bruce, Deacon Jones, AD, Falk. Yeah, but without Kurt Warner, they wouldn't have had a Super Bowl until 2022. Keep that in mind. Lucasfilm president Kathleen Kennedy confirmed that there would be an Obi-Wan/Mando crossover. They mentioned that all prequels could cross over. That is sick, okay? Kathleen Kennedy is not sick. I'm not really a big fan of hers, but I do really like that announcement. Yeah, I agree. I never really got into that either. I don't know. Agreed. It's going to be a lot of fun. Yeah, here's the thing. First Fantastic Beasts, it was a new, the first Fantastic Beasts is like the anti-Eternals. It's what happens when you take something with an IP that everyone knows and you have some sort of original idea about it and it actually works. Eternals, original idea, but it just didn't work. Like there wasn't enough development, wasn't long enough, and it wasn't long enough and it was too long at the same time. And Fantastic Beasts, like the first one was just awesome. Like, I just felt like that Scamander and all those characters were just very likable, and I liked where the story was going, and I thought it was very, elaborate and all that. The second movie was like entertaining. I found it fun to watch, but the second movie was incredibly confusing, and it was like riding a roller coaster. I mean, like, what is happening? I couldn't believe how many times they changed the scenery, how many times they tried to do a plot twist, but in the end, it really wasn't much of a plot twist. It just felt like there was way too much going on with that movie. And then I haven't seen the third one, but all I heard is that it's really just not that good. And yeah, it rubbed people the wrong way with the Johnny Depp thing. I was definitely one of those people. I think Disney and WB should be ashamed for turning their back on him. I just really don't think that was fair, but whatever. And then, like you mentioned, Ezra Miller keeping his job. I don't know. He's got a lot of stuff to work out. We'll just say that. But I think, and that's saying a lot, though. The Fantastic Beasts third one apparently didn't do that well, and that was the one you start to really bring in Dumbledore. Like, he's starting to be like a main character. Like, that tells you a lot. Now you have somebody that like people can really, not just they know the lore too because of the books, but like they really can vibe with a character because they're like, oh, it's Dumbledore. Like, I love Dumbledore. I missed him, and like his story, so it's like that's great. And now you're learning his prequel, which all that, and it's like if you can't even connect with that, I don't know, man. I don't know. Appreciate you, Alex. Thank you for becoming a bronze member. Appreciate you. Oh God, why did they do that? Why? Oh, why'd they have to bring The Rock in? Why is Vin Diesel like Vin Diesel is just I don't know. He loves that series so much. I guess I understand you put that much effort into it, but it's just I don't know. It's one of those things. I just don't know why people like it so much. It's really I don't know. Like I saw that they were going to like there was a potential of Speed being remade. Hell, let's not remake that. I don't need Speed remade, okay? Keanu Reeves can focus on the MCU role that he apparently has. Keanu Reeves can focus on other roles. Like, I want to see John Wick 4. I don't give a freaking damn about Speed. Like, Speed is a movie you see once, and you're like, that was pretty good. You don't need to see it again. Like it's done. Like that's it. I don't know. Too many car chases, man. I'm so over the car chases. I would say that or I got these Pringles yesterday. They're like the chili lime and they're so good. I'd probably say that would be my second favorite. Best car chase hands down is Gone in 60 Seconds, the original. Very important distinction to make, not hating on the Nick Cage remake, but the original is the best. I think car chases, if they're done quickly, can be done well. Um, I think the scene in Winter Soldier, the like kind of car chase scene, was pretty cool. I thought the car chase scene in Hawkeye was pretty cool. But I like, why is it going on for 30 minutes? Like, chill. Like everything Bond does, his car chase scenes are actually fun. But put it in black and white, exclamation points, star it. Like, no. Speed does not need a reboot. So stop that. Facts. Same. And and Daniel Hardy. So, oh, in the Batman. Oh yeah, that was pretty good too. Yeah, there are some pretty solid car chase scenes, but like you notice a pattern there. They have to be slowed down. Appreciate you donating, Darth Karth. Excuse me. Are you kidding me? If the, I I'm gonna be so mad. I'm gonna be so mad right now if this is true. I hate the Leprechaun. I freaking hate that thing. Yes. No official plans to do another. What? Lionsgate is developing a new Leprechaun movie. Oh my god, why? Like, oh my, why, dude? Oh, that is so pitiful. I I hate the Leprechaun so much. Oh, I it's so bad. It like makes me mad. I'm like pissed. Like I'm over here like actually upset, maniacally laughing. Yes, the car chasing the Batman. And then oh dude, the score, the soundtrack in the Batman was like freaking flawless, man. Facts. Speaking of franchise movies, let's hope the new Halloween movie isn't ruined with COVID being added to it. Yeah, I'm hoping that they just kind of threw that in there. Like you might see here and there, like, okay, there's a mask or something. Because if they made it like super like realistic, where we have like people with masks everywhere and it is COVID, I think that's stupid as hell. I don't know. I think it's going to be a good movie. I think it's going to make Halloween Kills the best one of the series. I think it is the best one of the series. The new three. Um, but I think Halloween Ends is going to make Halloween Kills better. Like you're going to go back and you're going to watch Halloween Kills. You're going to be like, you're going to like it more after you've seen the conclusion. I think the Batmobile and the Batman is my favorite. I love muscle cars. So I don't love the Batmobile. What I love in Batman is I love the Bat Pod, like that motorcycle thing that he runs. It is so sick. The one that he rocks in Dark Knight Rises, I think it is. Oh my god, so sick. Because Michael Bay just wants everything to explode, and obviously cars explode. So there you go. Any 007 chase scene is fun. It does not matter what it is. I'm never watching that. I hate the Leprechaun. I don't think he's funny. His one-liners piss me off. Like, no. I have no idea, Ted. I don't know. Why do people like pineapple on pizza so much? Uh why do people like Always Sunny in Philadelphia so much? Like I don't know. I don't know these things. I don't know. I legitimately can't stand like Always Sunny in Philadelphia. I'm sorry for those of you that are fans out there for that show. I can't stand it. I think it's incredibly annoying. It's too much. I don't know, and I don't like the way it's filmed. I understand that's like their shtick, but I think it fails. You weren't ready for that one. uh, Yo, Transformers movies used to be so fire. That was a good franchise. I just think they got a little too crazy. Leprechaun in the multiverse, dear God. I'd like to see the Leprechaun get caught in like the boys or something and get like obliterated by Homelander or something. I don't know. Imagine Michael Myers walks around killing people with a mask on over his mask. What? That's hilarious. That would be really funny, actually. That would be ridiculous, though. Car chase and Gone in 60 seconds. OG is an hour long, but it's like from the 60s. It was done with real stunts and so many beautiful cars get wrecked. I was singing Something in the Way for no reason after the Batman. I mean, I think a lot of people were. I know everybody thinks I'm crazy, but I wasn't a huge fan of the new Batman. It was a little too dark. Oh, I really liked it, but you're not the first person that I've seen that didn't really like it. Shots fired. Somebody compared the Leprechaun series to Die Hard series. I don't think they're even close. No, the Leprechaun series is terrible, and Die Hard series is awesome. John McClane is great, and the Leprechaun is annoying, and I want to punch him in his stupid face. I don't find the Leprechaun funny. I I like one-liners if they're done right. I hate the Leprechaun. Like, shut up. You're not funny. Like, I despise you. Chucky would beat the crap out of Leprechaun. Chucky's astronomically better. Do you like Hellraiser? Absolutely. Yeah, I thought they did a nice job. That first one was so good. I need to watch all of them, but yeah, I really like the first one. Leprechaun is atrocious. Yeah, I hate the Leprechaun. Oh my god, I'm about to go R-rated Jake again. Michael Bay's explosions have explosions. I know, he's ridiculous. Wahlberg ruined Transformer. I like Wahlberg, man. This poor guy gets shit on no matter what he's in. Like, everyone was saying he's so bad as Sully. I'm like, bro, I played all the Uncharted games. I thought he was a good Sully. You have to keep in mind he's a young Sully in the Uncharted movie, not an older one, a younger one. I thought he looked good. I thought he was good in that role, and it made sense. I have not seen the animated Spawn, and I haven't seen the Spawn movie, but I need to. I'd probably say under 5. That's fair. I don't think he'll be there at the end of Stafford's contract. I think he's probably retiring sooner than later. Seems like his wife sure wants that. Willow who? Are you talking about Willow Smith? Because I'm a big fan of her new stuff. I like that she's gone like punk rock. I like Willow Smith. I don't know what Willow is though. That sounds probably like a movie, but I haven't seen it. Ah, you had to do that. I'm trying to think. Who would I dislike more, Pat Beverley or Leprechaun? Leprechaun. Leprechaun. Absolutely Leprechaun. Hate that thing so much. I'd punt it across the room. Stupid. It would be gold. Shut up. You could replace the leprechaun with AK's pizza order and I wouldn't tell the difference. Facts. Bruce Willis really is good at one-liners. I like Bruce Willis. Drake is goated. He said only an hour to 45-minute stream. He's hustling. Yeah, I try. Jake. I knew what you meant. My mom's called me Drake before, and she named me, so you get a pass for sure. I like the Uncharted movie. It was what I expected. Yeah, I thought it was really well done, and I can't wait for the second one. Tom Holland can literally play any role, it seems like. He's got incredible range, I think. Movie, same little person actor as Leprechaun. My guy Shia LaBeouf, a.k.a. Sam Witwicky, needs to come back to Transformers. Here for it. Wahlberg was talking like a Red Sox fan, but he's supposed to be from Texas. Gary Sanchez all day. I mean, it's really that bad. I remember I once Venmo'd her money to get pizza because she was having a bad day. And then she sent me the pizza, and I was like, I didn't say it, but I was like, you should give me that money back. that was such a waste of however much I sent her. I'm messing. I mean, not really. That pizza is absolutely disgusting, but, A Leprechaun? Oh my god. Like the Leprechaun? Like the horror movie Leprechaun? Oh my god, dude. It's gonna be a crime scene, let me tell you. That thing comes up to my door. I hate that thing so much, man. Hey, you already asked me that. I think I said Eli Apple. I'm gonna stick to it. You already know. I'm pretty sure you could just step on the leprechaun's face and it would just die. Like, I mean, I don't know. That's true. Well, hey guys, it's past 2, so I am going to probably watch some Russian Doll, go to bed, and wake up tomorrow and do this thing all over again. Hopefully, we'll be live at 9 Eastern to talk. I don't know. We'll probably do our own Rams Q&A over on Callin. If you guys haven't already signed up for the Callin app, definitely check it out in the description. But until next time, folks, doses. I'll see y'all soon. Appreciate y'all. And like I said, I'm going to try to be back on tomorrow. I think I'll definitely be on the call-in app. So if you guys do want to call in tomorrow, Nolan, I know you called in last time. Hopefully we get you back on. But we're doing that at 9 p.m. Eastern time. Aside from that, I'll probably do some deliveries tomorrow, try to make some money, and that'll be that. So, again, everyone have a great night, and I'll see y'all soon. Peace.